review. That video was only 19 seconds long, and I didn't cut the audio. I figured we'd just let it play and just be like, well, that's all we get from China.
That's fine.
In super low resolution, upscaled to 4K.
Yeah, exactly. And then other than that, the only other thing...
Whoa.
Well, that's all we get from China.
Who's
There
playing?
we go. Sorry.
All right.
That's okay.
Noobs.
So, by the way, we're live, as proven by this computer.
Yeah.
I just said preview.
Yeah.
You just what?
I just said preview.
I went live. I went live.
Way to go.
Sorry.
Thanks for telling everybody.
I know.
Are we officially live?
Also brought us live on
You can hit Facebook
Surprise.
the other one, too.
too. Great, now I cannot worry about that anymore.
Yes, that was the idea. You just work on
Thanks.
your rundown.
I'll just be over here working on my rundown.
I don't have a whole lot of battery power here. I need a... By the way, hello, Internet.
Yeah.
Greetings to you, Internet.
Thank goodness.
I need a...
Hello, Internet.
Hello, Internet.
Let's see.
Oh, all of the power is in the other room now.
Talk back, talk back, talk back, talk back. I'm loud, I'm loud, I'm loud.
You're loud?
Yeah, I feel like I'm loud
All right.
compared to everybody else.
No, I mean, I feel like you're just generally loud.
Well, I have been
nice-
I have been extra salty recently.
You know, I think you deserve to be extra salty recently. This set's insane, dude.
Yeah, I wonder why they're always been extra salty. NaCl.
How many times do I have to tell you to not lick Dutta?
Why?
So, as an added bonus...
Everybody's
Oh, are
watching
you
us
stuck on
prepare.
something, Dutta? Do you need help?
I'm just getting run down together.
Am I all good? Is there anything else in the rundown that you need from me? Or?
For everyone in the chat room, I'm glad that you liked the little effect here. I think this is cool.
Ben, do I need this blank?
No, that's there just in case we needed to blank out the CG
Okay.
in an automated sort of way. That's for my future stuff.
So I don't need it right now.
No, you don't. You don't.
No,
The
you
Minnesotan
don't.
came out. No, you don't.
Actually made me feel a little better.
Alright. I actually might be rethinking putting the computer in the middle.
Yeah, because of the edge.
Why?
Not the edge, the distance.
Oh, that is
It's in 4K, so everything's freaking tiny.
Well, you can scale that if you
I
want.
tried. It looks terrible after a bit.
All right. Do you want me to move it now? It's a super simple change.
No.
Okay.
An H on my forehead.
So someone's saying that it's going to be hard standing there for such a long time. They only have to stand there for like 20 minutes because we go to the other set. We have multiple sets now. That's the thing to make note of.
As you see Ben floats by the window.
You want? Should we give him a quick? Hang on.
No,
You're.
after.
yeah.
After.
Did you fill my cup with stuff and things? No. I'm gonna grab some
It's filled with things and stuff.
delicious sugar water, I think. I've been trying to cut back, but
Cheers.
not today. By the way, for everyone watching online, this show got infinitely more. Not only did we get all new sets, it also got infinitely more complicated. And Dutta was here until dark 30 in the morning, went home, got a couple hours of sleep, and came back. And now he's at a very large and complicated control surface. So we're going to give him a whole lot of leeway today in trying to get things going. I do like that effect space, Mike. I think it's pretty cool. I'm not sure we're going to leave this. So the screen or the computer is hilarious, I think, for this first show. I'm not sure we're going to actually leave it. I don't know.
I think that the if we do decide to keep it, I think the point would be to not overuse it. You know, like I'm looking down into a lot right now during the pre-show, but during the actual news segments, I'm pretty much going to be focused. You know, I can be looking down like this during the comments section or whatever, but I like it. I think it's fun.
I do too. I think it's slightly hilarious. Carrie Ann, can you come here and sit in this chair for me?
Oh yeah, chat room. Just press record.
Almost.
I can do that from the console now. I just did it.
What'd you do?
I pressed record. Look in there. Is it recording?
Oh my gosh, there's a red
One.
light in the back and forth.
Adjustment. There we go.
Stay there for a minute.
Do you have me, Dada? Yay!
What time is it?
What's up?
48.
We should give
Words and things.
What's funny, Vax Headroom, is I actually am looking at my computer right
Hold
now.
on, Mike.
I mean, these are see-through VR
Mike,
glasses.
hold. Jared, Mike, check.
Oh, well, hello everybody. Glad to be back. Dada has taught me how to use a lot of power tools that I was originally afraid of using. And Dada is good. Dada is wise.
Carrie Ann?
Jared sounded actually kind of clippy to me. Was that just me, or am I just hearing things?
It wasn't clippy. He was getting static.
Yeah, that one. That's what I'm trying to say. All those things. Those are the words I'm trying to use.
Yep.
So sometimes I'm like this, though. So definitely make sure that at the top of my levels, if I'm screaming at Ben, that this is how it sounds.
What'd you have for breakfast today?
Not what I wanted to have.
That's true. You good? I need to take control of the console for a minute. Sorry. Can you put camera 1 in preview, please? Thank you. Actually, that does look pretty good. I don't understand why it looks... No, this. Look at the camera, please. Can you put camera 2 in preview, please?
Cheers, Jared.
Yeah, cheers.
Ding.
Oh, that's helping. the
Cheers,
throat.
Internet.
Oh, that's making
Look
the
at,
throat feel
camera 1 for
so
me.
much better.
I don't know which one's camera 1, so
That
I'm
one's
just going to
camera
assume.
1. Yep. Okay, that looks pretty good, right? They're fairly equal. Focus. Okay, I think
Way is the dirty way. There we go, that way.
we're pretty good there. Oh yeah, there you go. And then if you want to exit this mode, you click. No. God, where the heck is the frickin'? No, just click.
Yeah, just having a
switcher.
dance party.
I click camera
Little
again.
dance party.
Oh, click the little 4 things.
Dada actually got me this shirt for Christmas. Thank you, Dada.
You're welcome.
All right. I
Yeah,
think
full screen so I can see.
that looks good.
Oh,
I
very
just need-
cool.
call Universe Today for me. That's their thingy thing.
Turning my mic off because I got a cough.
Thank you, Carrie Ann. I think you're good. What?
I don't see a universe today.
Where's my computer? I forgot to mount those. Sure.
This is stupid. Why isn't it hitting enter search?
I don't know. That's the one, top one.
Consumer Electronics Show.
What's going on?
See if you're able to, yeah. All right, now let me see if I can get to that menu
It's
screen.
really weird watching yourself.
Less than 10 minutes to show if we can.
My ear thing is in. This is so bizarre.
Yeah, that's definitely blown out.
I'm so scared.
That's fine. I'll figure it out. I'll find it. Don't worry.
Dang it.
Negative return on universe today.
All right, let's give me a minute here.
Copy.
That looks cleaner on screen. Let me email him.
Yes, sir, yes.
Okay.
Yes. By the way, one of my
Yes,
one
yes.
of my $10 or $50 for 10 shirts I bought is the all-seeing eye Illuminati symbol.
Well,
So-
the right side up version
Yes.
or the upside down?
The right side up version. Like the one on the
Right
back
on.
of the dollar bill. I can't wait to wear that on air. Oh, confirmed.
Illuminati confirms. Yes, Nora Pilot.
All right, Detta, what else are you missing? Is this basically it? Just the guest?
Yeah, I'm just sorting through news and launches and stuff.
All right, and you're comfortable with the name banners and whatnot?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Oh, I think the pillar of light that everyone's seeing is the TV. Yeah.
I'm not super keen on that, actually.
Oh, that.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you're talking about? Okay.
That'll be
Yeah.
covered. That'll be covered up. when-
Mike is way louder than Jared.
Uh-oh.
Mike,
Yeah,
give-
what's going on here?
Mike, give me a mic.
Test. My name is Space
Speak-
Mike.
Speak words.
My name is Space Mike, and today we're going to be talking about rocket launches and stuff that astronauts are doing.
Jared.
Some really cool discoveries in space.
Jared.
Yes.
Talk.
Your
Oh,
turn.
sorry.
Words.
Words and stuff.
Hello, I'm in recovery from a flu I caught this week where I hallucinated that Tony Hawk was trying to kill me. It was really funny. It was bizarre though. So, I don't know what's going on. I'm not making those noises. I'm just talking because words and stuff.
Mike.
Testing. We're going to be talking about some cool discoveries and rocket
we're
engines and planets
Okay. Thank you.
and moon pies.
Yeah, moon pies, space up status, moon pies, and RC cola.
Space Mike, you just had the one image for SpaceX.
I'm sorry, what?
You just had the one image for SpaceX.
No, I have 2 images and a video.
Oh, okay.
They're linked in the rundown there.
All right, we're gonna make a change to the rundown next show. See if I can get stuff to sort and
RC cola is the
fit
best.
together.
Better than Coke and Pepsi. Just gonna throw that route there.
All right, so since our guest isn't here, is there anyone in the chat room that does something in space that would like to be a last-minute guest? How's that? Because for whatever reason, I did not think to create a backup plan in case we didn't have a guest, because that hasn't happened for so long.
I think we just talk about how awesome Dada is.
We could. I don't.
We don't have enough time for that.
Yeah, I don't think
That's true.
I don't think a show can be.
That need to be at least
That
3 or
long.
4 episodes.
Carrie Ann, your check's in the mail.
One more time?
Your check is in the mail.
Hello, Citizen 3D Blaster. It is nice.
Jared, international debris does not have an image.
Huh?
International debris does.
Oh, it does.
What is it?
It should be drill.
Drill 1 and 2 and 3.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I'm sorry. Do you want me to label those real quick?
I don't care.
Okay.
I just need to know what they are.
Engineers is web.
I want Cat 6 cables.
Yeah, your cables, both of them need to be replaced, I have found, which brings up an interesting point. Because both cables are bad, you could lose the control surface or the audio at any time.
Just so you know.
Yep. Try giving Fraser another call.
Okay.
Establish a call. Negative.
Okay. I'm pinging a few people. Did anyone in the chat room, anyone doing something cool, Spacey?
Vax volunteered.
Oh, Vax. We could bring Vax on. We will do a tour of the fancy new studio in After Dark, but that doesn't belong in the main show. I mean, that's just self-serving, and I don't want to do, especially for our first episode. I really don't want to do that. Yeah, and Grumpy Space, I pinged him as well. He should have gotten the reminder also, so I'm not sure what's going on. But Vax, yeah, if you don't mind being our backup plan here. We'll wait a couple more minutes to see if we can...
The weekly Space Hangout crew did tweet out
Yeah.
like an hour ago that he was going to be the guest today, so...
Yeah, by the way, thank you, Weekly Space Hangout crew, for
I was excited
all
to
the
talk to him,
promotion
too.
and everything.
for putting a lot of our stuff out there on your own account. Thank you guys so much.
Absolutely, thanks for sharing.
Yeah.
There's nothing in the rundown for next week?
You're right, nothing's confirmed for next week. Maybe it's a time zone issue. Although that's why we do everything in 1800 UTC.
Yeah, he might have gotten confused with my tweets yesterday.
Dada.
I felt terrible, and I heard Ben scold me, so I knew that when you came in and said nothing about it, I should feel just as bad.
Oh, you don't have any right to feel bad about anything right now because the amount of work that you've put in is stupid large. Let's tweak this camera a pinch, I think. Oh, maybe not. I guess it's just dark on my screen. No, actually, this looks pretty good. I take it all back. So what we could do, actually, Dada, I'm going to change one thing. That TV in the background is annoying the crap out of me, so we're going to need to, I'm going to go to aux, then I'm going to go to 6. What's selected? We'll do ME2 program. Cool. Black.
You know, I'm sorry, guys. I need to go use my Opera House real quick. Be right back.
That's fine. So right now I've blacked out the screen. I've routed it to ME2. So you just need to do that to bring your guest up. That way it's not in the background.
By the way, I'm starting to notice the glare too.
What glare?
The glare that's on my back. You see it there?
Yeah, I don't know what it's from.
Yeah, I don't know. We don't know. I don't know what it's from either.
It's from the backlight. We're going to take a moment and fix that.
Okay.
Sorry, everyone, we're running a little bit late. New space station issues, shiny new space station, creating problems. Thank you, everyone, for pointing that out, because that would have driven me absolutely bonkers.
Should I turn around so that
No,
you
no,
can see the
I
glare,
can
or-
see it.
Okay.
Unfortunately, this space station has artificial gravity, so I need to use a ladder. Or can we? How long does it take to turn off the artificial gravity here? Take a little while. It's not just a fast.
It's a 45-minute
40-minute
boot process. man.
Yeah. That would suck. It's floating around the whole time.
Yeah. Although that would be a pretty awesome show.
Let me see. Okay, he's there.
I do my news upside down, which is how I do it anyhow.
Right, that gets rid of it, right? Hang on, let me full on get rid of it.
Oh, heck
that
yeah.
got rid of it, right?
Correct.
Yep.
Okay, that is.
Is it just too close to like a lens flare or what?
Yeah, that's exactly what's going on. I might be able to cheat and do. I won't be able to cheat. Okay. Okay.
It moved.
It did. Is the lens flare still on the screen?
Yes.
Bless you.
Sorry.
Salute.
Thank you.
It got better though, right?
No, it's still there.
But is it getting better or worse? Oh, it's just moving.
It's just moving.
Okay, so I need to.
Ah!
Just put a piece of tape over it.
There's a giant
Okay.
hand in the studio.
So.
No.
Oh, Fraser's here.
Fraser's in the chat room.
Sweet.
Yes.
Tell him the answer.
Says he's here, but he's having connection issues.
We have lots of small pieces.
I think I need something firmer though. Is the only problem.
What if it's
Nah.
really small?
I mean, it needs to be.
I mean, at least it's light. We have smaller than that too.
I can just cut this.
Yeah, you've got a really nice knife.
We're also gonna need black gaff. Or something. All this reflection up here.
For what?
There's a. There's
I'm
a,
not worried about that.
A hood for the camera.
Camera has it.
It's for the other camera. For
Oh, the
screen.
long.
Oh. Doopy doo.
1,000-degree knife.
Whoops. See, that's.
Precarious
Right
at
there,
best.
Yeah, I know that. There's no way I
It
can
won't
mount
just
that.
sit there.
What are you
There.
doing with your life?
Okay, that's not going to work. I was closer before, I think. This piece. I mean, or. Yeah, this is just a shitty solution. Let's do this. See, that's where that new disclaimer comes into play. All right. I changed the verbiage on it, by the way, to say may conform to galactic broadcast regulations, because I'm like, we're not going to conform to any sort of regulations. Who am I kidding? Oh,
You don't,
What?
You
Hey, Dada, this is gonna fall. Thank you.
Fiber.
Unless, of course, we are the Galactic Broadcasts Regulation Agency.
Aw, man. I'm breaking things. Hold. This is what you get when you watch live.
You get to see the real deal.
Hold.
Hold.
Still on the screen?
Turn it off. No, I do not see it.
Right? I'm
don't
far
see
enough off center?
Yeah.
Great, thanks.
How you doing, Carrie Ann?
Ooh.
Yeah?
I think at this point everybody's just tired and we want to get the show done. Mm-hmm. Everybody's like, bleh.
Yeah, building a set is hard work.
You okay?
He almost died. He almost killed me.
He can't kill you. You're too valuable to the show.
Oh man, this is missing. Oh, fuck.
What?
When it fell off. Yep.
Do you just want another tea?
No, there's a specific part that fell off. I need someone's phone with the flashlight.
Get it?
Yeah.
Thanks. There it is.
No?
Thank you.
Darn.
Mike.
Sorry.
Thank you.
I tried.
Mike, really?
Thanks for playing.
Staying clear underneath me. This might just fall. This is all sorts of sketchy.
Ben is devouring the set in frustration.
I'm pretty sure that's Dada. Oh yeah, that's right. This was sketchy. What?
Yeah.
Did you not see how I did this originally?
No, I wasn't here.
I wasn't here
There's
either.
just enough thread. Shut up. It works. All right, we're going to have to do this, though, in order to get it going. I feel like I had this working slightly better before. Oh, there we go. Caught.
Oh, it looks like I'm just got my hand in my pocket here.
All right, stand clear
I
underneath
see.
this.
It looks like because mine is actually way up here. I have an idea.
Fraser, I'm giving you another call.
All right, I'm striking. I'm going to attempt striking.
Plug it in for you.
Oh! I just said I was striking. Why did you look right at it?
I didn't realize that's what striking meant. I thought you meant taking it down. So,
Yeah, that's how that sounds.
All right. No
I'm
more
good,
glare,
man.
right? I'm going to need to... Yeah, thanks.
I don't feel the glare.
I'm looking right at you. Come in.
Sorry. Just parts falling down, whatever.
Still can't connect on Skype, Fraser.
Firewall?
His end.
No, I know. I'm asking. I assume you can hear us or see us. We'll wait a few more minutes if everyone's all right. Right? You guys are all cool. You guys are all cool, just kind of hanging out for a little bit. You
Yeah.
never actually tried like comments. This is how it's gonna have to be for comments, I think. Right?
Well, we can condense.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I
Just
can
condense
scoot
really
over.
quick, just so I can see what comments will look like. And then I'll do my best to cover up Dutta like this. Oh, am I too close? Ew.
Don't.
Gross.
Nasty.
Do you have a device?
A device.
You
Like a
would want
computer?
Yes.
Yeah, it's charging.
There was one right there. It's not there anymore.
I know, I'm charging it.
How's that table holding up?
Yeah, it's pretty good.
It should have 4 legs.
Oh, we have them.
Yeah,
We can tweak it.
it should have 4 legs.
Support wise or
Yeah.
Yeah.
Support-wise.
No support. Symmetry,
I mean-
it's fine.
Yeah, I think it actually looks pretty cool on set with the 3.
It is just MDF, to be fair.
Yeah, it's a leg.
I
It's
don't
actually
think-
the leg issue. It's not.
Yeah, I don't think it's the MDF. It's just that it's a little tipsy.
Well, that's because it's
Because it has 3 legs.
tall and not wide.
Are you calling me fat? Wait, no, they'd be calling me not fat.
No, I said short, not
Whoops.
I'm not sad, you guys. I'm exhausted. And I'm trying to save all of it for the show so that that's not crap. Because otherwise, then it's going to be like this.
Fiberglass away from your breakfast. This tastes kind of stringy. It's kind of got an itchy taste to it. It tastes itchy.
That fiberglass wasn't cotton candy like that guy said. My stomach itches.
So the hard part is, I don't know how
Hi,
many of
Kitty.
you know this, but you know, it used to be during the news I would kind of bounce around because I get antsy, and so then I would just kind of come in here and hang out behind Dutta like this. Be like, hey Dutta, this isn't annoying when I do this, is it? It's not annoying when I'm like right here looking over your shoulder, right? This is fine, right?
Guess what?
I can't do that now. And Dutta's super upset because he loved it when I did that. You lose your mouse?
There it is.
Okay.
Wow, it's cold in Minnesota.
Doesn't look
How
like.
cold is it?
One of our citizens says
Negative
it's
14 wind chill. It's not
negative
that
14
bad.
wind chill.
Oh, that's not bad.
That would be the coldest I would have ever been in.
Oh, you young,
Yeah, no.
you young Padawan, you.
They shut down the state at negative 80.
Hello, sick kitty, my
Negative
love.
Yeah.
Thereabouts?
I hope you're feeling better.
Well, negative 60 is right around when they actually shut it down,
Well,
but we've seen
yeah.
it get to negative 80.
Cool.
That's Fahrenheit for those of you not in the United States.
The last funeral that we were at was negative 40 wind chill.
No, I thought it was negative 20.
thought
I didn't
it was
think it was
40.
all the way down to
What
40.
a terrible way
Well, it's
to...
negative 40 while we were there.
What an inconvenience.
It's fine.
I
It's
mean,
just like
they
when
had
it
to
gets
thaw.
hot
This is going to
here.
sound terrible. They had to thaw out the ground. They couldn't bury her. They
Yeah,
had
we
to
had to
actually
wait like a
thaw the
week.
ground. Yeah.
Well, that's a bit morbid.
Yeah. Let's start the show.
Hey, we've got Fraser.
Woo, Fraser!
Actually, kind of hilarious.
Can we hear him?
Yay!
Fraser, can we do a quick mic check? Ooh.
Okay. I can hear one side of you. I get right channel only.
Oh wait, hang on. No, it's
Wait.
mono on the board. So it's
mono on the board?
He's guest.
6.
Out of my mouth.
There you go.
Hang on.
Ben did it. Never mind.
Um,
Well, if you're only going to talk out of one side of your mouth, it better be the right side.
all right.
All right, give me some words.
I'm Fraser Cain, publisher of Universe Today.
Awesome.
Sounds great.
Fraser, we're gonna drop your. Can we bring his name banner up for me really quick? Sure. We're gonna bring your name banner up on. By the way, you can see return video. You got that pretty little grid. My bald spot. right here.
I have it twice,
You have it twice.
which is fine. It's fine. I can work with it.
Key.
You have it twice. What do you mean by you have it twice?
I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I see sort of like on the left-hand side, I've got me on the top, camera 1, camera 2, space, my guest, and then on the right-hand side, I've got me again, and then camera 3, camera 4, super. Yeah, so it's
Oh yeah.
a whole
Okay.
grid.
Yeah.
it's-
That's
it's
what you should see.
It's a multi-view.
So you should see the multi-viewer. So you'll have a little bit-
Multi-view.
Yeah, you should have some context of what's going on. Can you do me a quick favor and validate the spelling of your name and? Should I die?
Yeah.
No, I
I
muted you.
validate.
You validate. You sign off on all that.
Sweet. All right. If it's all right, we're going to start the show. Thank you so much for joining us. And just so you know, this is the first time we're doing this show with this tech on this set. So it's going to be all sorts of sketchy and not work right. So go with the flow if you don't mind.
Well, the fact that we got started 17 minutes late is like just amazing then.
Dude, we're an internet show. That's what happens.
Yeah, this is my life.
All right. Actually, while we've got you, are you able to tilt your camera down a little bit?
How far down would you like me to go?
Let's start right there. Let's see how that looks. Are you happy with... hang on.
More.
Just a pinch more.
Just a pinch more, just a tiny little bit.
And Duddy, you like the camera 2 shot?
That looks good. Let me see. Camera 2. Yeah.
Right? No weird glare or anything?
Okay. Monitor went blank for a minute. That's fun.
This one?
No, mine.
That's fun. That's
Yeah.
going to be interesting.
Yep.
right.
I have your reflection in Fraser's shoulder.
Okay. Hang on. Fraser's shoulder. Do we care? Is it that bad? Which way do I need to tilt to fix that?
You'd have to probably move the TV too much.
I can just rotate, right? We have the technology.
Yeah, but at some point you get other stuff in there, right?
I know, but how's that look? Better or worse?
You're on his other shoulder.
So I need to go further or...
Further, yeah.
I'm honestly sure. All right, there's a point where I won't be able to see him anymore.
There you go.
Does that look good? It looks natural on camera when I'm pointing this direction?
Yeah.
Okay. This feels super...
Hello.
High five? High five. It doesn't work.
Hold on.
Wait.
Let's see. Right. It's a scale here, right?
All right, so then I have to...
And it's over there. There we go.
I don't know what's going on.
You nerds.
All right. Let's start the show. To my correspondents, who's opening, Carrie Ann or Jared?
Me, I guess.
As a reminder, the name of the patrons has changed. It should be in the rundown.
Yeah.
Okay, let's do it.
Hold on. Gotta regather. No, I can do it.
You got it, bro.
I mean, to be fair, you've done everything else, so.
Literally.
All right, just confirm recording. Hi. I'm gonna go ahead and seal this airlock. And make sure to mute my mic, please.
I think we're good. You ready?
Sure.
Let's try it.
Ready.
Let's give it a go.
Happy New Year! This is Orbit 10. Welcome to it. I'm Carrie Ann. I, of course, have Jared and Mike, and Dutta behind me, which is really cool.
It's Dutta.
He wasn't expecting that,
is
so
Dutta.
good times. But before we get started, I want to make sure that we give a huge shout out to our patrons who are the escape velocity variety. There we go, yay! Welcome to the first show of the year. These people have given us $10 or more for this particular segment of this particular episode. Like I said, these are the Escape Velocity patrons, which is really awesome, including us apparently, which is also very awesome. These people, of course, get access to our Slack channel, which means all of the things that are new to you are probably not exactly new to them because they are in our Slack channel learning about these things in real time. So a thank you for the escape. Ben wants to do this again.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. It's all good.
Happy New here. Welcome to Orbit 10 on tomorrow. I am Carrie Ann. With me is Jared and Space Mike. I actually have a Dutta behind me. There he is, blending into the blue, which is amazing. And before we get started, though, I want to make sure that we give a huge thank you to our patrons of the Escape Velocity variety. These are the people who have given us $10 or more for this particular segment of this particular episode, and they have, of course, access to our Slack channel, which is really amazing because they get to see all the different changes and all of the cool things that are happening on our brand new Orbit 10 pretty much in real time as they're happening. So thank you to every single one of you. You're doing a great job. Hopefully we're making you proud. Right?
Yes.
Exactly.
We're here to do that.
Perfect. So we'd like to get started, as we always like to do on the TMRO channel, with a couple of launches that happened. Right?
That's right. We have two launches we wanted to talk about. The last one of last year and the first launch of this year.
Perfect.
So both of these were actually Chinese launches as well. Let's get started off with the last launch of 2016, which was a Long March 2D rocket, which launched 2 SuperView satellites into orbit. Let's check out the footage. I love the installation falling away. But yeah, that's kind of all we get from this particular launch this time, and that's unfortunate. But with this whole launch, this was actually launching 2 SuperView satellites that are Earth imaging satellites, and they were initially placed into the wrong orbit. This is an image of what one of the satellites looked like. They're both identical satellites, and it was originally going into a sun-synchronous orbit that was planned to go to an altitude of 500 kilometers. But at first, they weren't placed into the planned orbit. Their apogee, or their highest point, was reaching the intended target, but their lowest point did not. However, the onboard fuel on board the spacecraft was able to push the spacecraft into close enough to their intended orbit at 500 kilometers, or for those of you in the United States, about 325 miles. So congratulations to China for that, even though they didn't really acknowledge that it had a little bit of an anomaly not getting those satellites into the intended orbit at first anyway.
I mean, that sounds like China, right?
Yeah. Still a success all the way.
All right, and what else has China done? You said another one, yeah?
Yeah, they kicked off the first launch of the year, and this was a Long March 3B rocket, which launched a kind of secretive test communications satellite. Let's check out some footage from this. Now, this launched at 15:18 Coordinated Universal Time from the Xichang Space Center on Thursday, January 5th, 2017. And as I said, it was a test communications satellite, and it's actually the second one in this series that they've launched into orbit. However, there's no additional information as to what this satellite is. We don't even really know what it looks like. But hopefully they're able to successfully test that and, be able to get a good orbit from that. But in any case, China is the first successful orbital space launch of this year. So congratulations to China and everyone who was involved with all of those launches.
Nice, really nice. It's going to be an exciting year for sure for 2017. So congratulations,
Absolutely.
of course, to China on that one. And I know this next story you're really excited about, so I won't delay you any longer. What's going on, Mike?
Well, one of the big things we're looking forward to this year is SpaceX's return to flight. And the FAA just gave them a launch license. They gave them clearance to be able to launch their Falcon 9 again.
Does that look like
Now,
a driver's license or like a passport? I'm just kidding. Go on.
Long form.
Sorry.
It's a really long PDF with like really, really tiny legalese print. It's kind of hard to read, but
Okay.
it does have a really cool stamp on the top of it, so that's cool.
Nice.
I should have grabbed an image of that. Didn't even think.
Yes!
Next time, for
There you
sure.
go.
But with this whole return to flight thing, if for those of you watching who don't know, SpaceX suffered the anomaly on September 1st where they lost a Falcon 9 rocket and the payload Amos 6. And since then, they have completed the investigation into that anomaly. And although they still don't know the exact cause of why the anomaly occurred, they have a pretty good leading cause as to why it could have happened. And the leading theory is that one of the helium tanks. This is the inside of the Falcon 9 upper stage, and you can see those 3 kind of black canisters along the wall. Those are the helium tanks that are made out of composite overwrap of pressure vessels, or COPVs. And one of those, they believe, buckled a little bit, and there's a lining between the aluminum and the composite overwrap that holds the tank together. And they believe that when it buckled in slightly, some of the super chilled liquid oxygen kind of seeped in between those layers, and being a super cold densified propellant, froze even more because the helium was also at a very cold temperature, and it became solid oxygen. And when that buckle occurred, or even with it freezing into solid oxygen, they believe that there was friction that occurred that it caused the initial spark that just set the whole thing on fire. I mean, they only had 0.93 milliseconds of data before the entire thing was up in flames. So that's a pretty it's a pretty good theory. But in any case, the FAA was able to go over the information for that, and SpaceX also successfully conducted a static fire test on Thursday of this week. And we have some just a stock footage of the first test that they did with their static fire test. And with this, they've had to change a little bit of their procedures that they've been doing for the Falcon 9 rocket. And with this, they have said that they are going to be changing the configuration of those helium tanks, and they will allow warmer temperatures of the helium to be loaded. As well, they will be returning the helium loading operations to a prior flight-proven configuration that they've done before. So hopefully with those changes, they won't have any more accidents like this occur. And it's enough that the FAA, like I said, was able to give them clearance, and they will be launching hopefully sometime next week. No sooner than Monday, but that's the first launch window and launch attempt that they're going to do. So, sorry for ranting about this, but I'm really excited. I really hope that SpaceX is able to complete this return to flight and get back to business.
Very nice. Is there control on this hologram data on to like turn down just the energy just ever so slightly? I feel like the hologram is kind of showing up the real people a little bit.
I got nothing.
New technology. I'm so sorry. I don't know what to do.
Kids these days.
It's a 45-minute boot process.
Oh, dang. That's true. I keep forgetting. Brand new ship. It's I haven't read all the manuals yet. Jared, tell me what's going on Mars.
Yeah, so we've got a little bit of a problem with the Mars rover Curiosity and its drill. Now, several weeks ago, engineers noticed there were some problems with the percussive drill that it uses to target samples on the surface of Mars. And basically what this drill is designed to do is it pulverizes the material into powder, so then that powder can be transferred to the onboard sampling systems of Curiosity. Now, they think that the problem is actually with a brake that's built into the drill itself. And this brake is what allows the extension of the drill from its little mount, so that it can reach out to the actual surface of Mars and then do the percussive drilling that it does. So what they're doing right now is they're basically, with the motor on the end of its arm, they're literally going back and forth with it right now, shaking it, just trying to see if there's any debris inside of the drill that will eventually fall out or move out of the way of the brake. And engineers at JPL believe that because that debris is in there, that shaking it is the best option. So a little shake and bake on Mars.
Is that like double checking to see if there's any Pringles left in the can?
Yeah, exactly. Actually, that technique may have been how it was figured out.
Interesting.
Potentially with that there. Now they're going to continue to work with this and see if there's a solution that they can come up with. But if this is a problem with the design, they're going to have to look at the drill on the Mars 2020 rover, which is coming up in 2020. See if they're going to have
And that was a clone of Curiosity, right?
Yes, it is a clone of Curiosity. It's going to be using the same frame and subset of certain instruments, like what's on the end of the arm, but a different set of instruments on board. It's more going to be astrobiological instead of geological. So instead of studying the rocks and the habitability, it's going to look for actual signatures of whether there could potentially have been life, or could potentially be life on Mars right now at the surface, for all we know. And also take samples so that they can be cached and maybe gotten and maybe send another rover to pull those samples out and do a sample return mission sometime in the future.
Nice.
So they've got to look at the design to make sure that if there is a flaw, that they don't carry that flaw over to the 2020 rover. But they're not sure yet. They're still working the problem. And working the problem 100 million miles away on another planet, well, that's just what JPL's excellent at. So pretty sure they'll figure out what the problem is and resolve that pretty quickly.
Nice. Really nice. All right. And Mike, we got some missions coming up from NASA. What's going on here?
Yeah, so I guess kind of speaking of JPL and planetary science, NASA has announced 2 new Discovery class missions, which are part of the planetary science programs. And both of these missions are going to be visiting asteroids. The first mission is called Lucy, and what they're planning with Lucy is to go visit the Trojan asteroids of Jupiter. These asteroids are in the same orbit as Jupiter, above, or rather in front of and behind the orbit of Jupiter in its Lagrange points. And first, it's going to be launched in 2021, and it'll visit a main asteroid belt in 2025 before reaching its final destination, the Trojan asteroids. And it's going to be visiting those between 2027 to 2033. So a ways away, but something that I like about both of these missions is that they have a cost cap, or rather maximum, of $450 million. Whether or not they actually, reach that maximum is another story. They haven't said how much their projected cost is. But I like that there's a maximum. There's a cap to it, so that these missions don't go overrun. But the other mission that they're going to be doing is called Psyche, and this is going to be visiting a not small, it's actually a rather large asteroid in the asteroid belt by the same name, Psyche. And this is a metal asteroid that scientists believe is possibly a remnant of a core that a planet that was forming in our solar system that came apart or was bombarded heavily. There's some pretty crazy features on this asteroid that we know of already. And with this mission, which is going to be led by the Arizona State University, it's going to launch in 2023 and make some flybys of Earth and Mars in 2024 and 2025 before arriving at Psyche in 2030. And we can hopefully find out a little bit more about it and find out whether or not it is the remnant of a core of a protoplanet or exactly what it is, and hopefully how we can take advantage of it and make the best use out of it.
Interesting. So this is kind of a weird question. I don't know if you can answer. So this is an asteroid that is known. We have a name for it, et cetera, et cetera. And there are companies out there like Planetary Resources that are trying to go out and mine asteroids. Is this like one of those, is there like a space law situation going on where NASA's like, no, it's cool, dibs, I'm going to this asteroid, and Planetary Resources like, that's cool and all, except that we were so planning on doing that 3 years before you. You know what I mean? Is there any sort of, I guess there's so many asteroids out there, it's not that big of a deal, but I feel like if this one has already been identified as being, an iron core, or metal possible core, you know what I'm saying? I'm not finishing any of my sentences. I apologize.
Most of our no, but that's a whole nother can of worms, because there's a whole set of different legal, or rather new laws that are trying to be passed, not only here in the United States, but Planetary Resources have been working with Belgium and Switzerland, or rather Luxembourg, to get laws passed so that they would have property rights to whatever asteroids they go and start to mine.
Right.
I guess the whole kind of theory that people are trying to push forward is that if you can get to it, then it's yours. Essentially, but it's a lot more complicated than that, and varies by country from country. So we could devote a whole show to talking about that, and maybe we should get maybe one of our friends like Andrew Rush back on the show to explain the legalese a little bit better to all of us. So.
Yeah, right.
I'm really excited about these missions because Trojan asteroids are kind of the leftovers of the solar system's formation. So that's very critical to understanding whether these models that we make of the solar system are correct. And then going to Psyche, which could be the core of a planet, actually is one of those missions where if we learn about that and we find out that it is the core of an ancient planet that basically had its crust and mantle blown off during a period of bombardment, that will help us gain a huge amount of insight in terms of geophysics here on Earth, because we have a good understanding of what's below our feet, but it's not the best understanding that we could possibly have, because it's very difficult to get down there, as you can imagine, to even think about it. So we have to use things like seismic energy and earthquakes and other things like that to do the job for us when they send out their waves, and the speed of the waves is influenced by the density of the material and other things like that. So to be able to look at an actual core left over, that would be that just blows my mind that they could potentially be doing that. Also, they found water ice on Psyche as well, so that's really exciting. The idea that there is this metal object out there, and you can also have water ice on a metal object. It's not necessarily something that has to be a comet in order for you to have water ice.
That's
on
crazy.
So.
And just for some small clarification, at least for me, the Trojan asteroids, that's like a classification? Is that?
Yes, it's a classification of asteroids based upon their position. They are in one of the, if I remember correctly, Lagrange points, which balances the gravity between Jupiter and the Sun.
Gotcha.
So they are basically orbiting in front of Jupiter as they go around the Sun and around that area.
Interesting.
So
Interesting.
Even something that's interesting is that even the Earth has a few, nowhere close as much as Jupiter, but it has a few Trojan asteroids of its own in our orbit around the Sun. So there's lots of different ideas of going and visiting one of those someday. And a lot of it's just one of those really cool phenomenons with the gravitational dead zone of Lagrange points, and I'm really excited to see it.
yeah.
And
Or
really
the
quickly,
data
for
from it.
people who aren't familiar with the term Lagrange points, that's that sort of neutral gravity kind of areas, right? Like there's the belts where like they're not being pulled over here and they're not being pulled over there. They're kind of just in this weird sort of purgatory.
Yeah. It's like it's an area where you can drop something and the gravity will balance it out and keep it in generally the same area.
Cool.
So
very cool. And then Structure 1701 in the chat room is asking, would you not expect water ice on a metal object for some reason? That's weird.
Yeah, it is weird because when we talk about asteroids and comets, we typically think about them in their sort of classical classification that they come with, where asteroids are more stony, iron, metallic, and comets are more icy,
Water
dusty
ice,
bodies. Yeah, what we would call volatiles, which is which is the scientific way of saying ice. So to find volatiles on a metal asteroid would be very, very weird, because then this kind of changes our ideas in classification. And Psyche is not the only object that has done this in recent memory. There's been a couple Hubble observations of asteroids that have tails like comets, and also comets that appear to have metallicity, or the same type of metal content that you would find in asteroids. So it's in the past 5 years, the lines have started to become very, very blurred. So it's still considered weird because it's not the majority of the objects. But overall, to find water on a metallic object would be very, very bizarre. And we would want to see if there's any sort of interaction between the metallic object and the water that may be on it.
Interesting. So. All right. Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got a couple of other stories going on, but I think we only have time for like one more. And I don't mean to skip you, Jared, but Mike, can you tell us about what's going on with the battery swap on the International Space Station?
Oh, sure, absolutely. So on the International Space Station, there's the 4 large solar array panels, and with those there is a set of 12 batteries inside each one of those that are a nickel hydrogen battery. And what you're seeing on screen right now is an EVA that was conducted yesterday, on Friday, by American astronauts Shane Kimbrough and Peggy Whitston. They completed a go Peggy. They completed a 6-hour extravehicular activity yesterday to start replacing those nickel hydrogen batteries with newer, smaller lithium-ion batteries. And with this, they're only what they're doing is they're working on 6 at a time. They're taking out 6 of the old nickel hydrogen batteries and replacing them with 3 of the lithium-ion batteries. There's 48 of the old batteries total, and they're going to be replaced with 24 of the newer lithium-ion batteries. Now, the 6 that they currently are replacing are going to be 2 of them are going to be left at the station, and the rest of them are going to be loaded onto the HTV capsule, the Japanese HTV cargo freighter, which delivered these new lithium-ion batteries to the station last month in December. And with this, they're only doing a couple at a time. So they took out 6 of the nickel hydrogen batteries, and they were able to successfully install 3 of the new lithium-ion batteries yesterday. They're going to be conducting another spacewalk next week, and this one's going to have Shane Kimbrough and then the European Space Agency astronaut Thomas Pesquet. I think I said that wrong, but he's going to be doing the EVA with Shane Kimbrough to swap out the next series. And they're just doing one of the power packs on each of the solar arrays at a time. And of course, all of this is so that they can have power during the night passes in their orbit around Earth. So very cool that they were able to do this. And they're going to, like I said, they're going to keep some of them at the space station to kind of study how they decay so that we can get a little bit more information about that, because there's lots of other spacecraft, operational spacecraft right now that use the same type of batteries, even if they're not the same size, these nickel hydrogen batteries. So definitely want to find out more about how it decays and when they start to go faulty and everything like that. The rest of them are just going to be loaded back into the HTV cargo freighter and be burned up in the atmosphere during its destructive reentry. And I believe that's going to be happening at the end of this month, at the end of January.
Awesome.
And then they're going to have 3 more cargo flights of the Japanese HTV freighter to deliver the rest of the batteries for the swap out. So it's going to take a while to finish this process. It's going to take a couple of years, especially since they're kind of averaging 1 HTV flight a year. So,
right.
But in any case, the process has started, and we have one of the successful EVAs down. So hopefully everything goes well next week, and they're able to finish this replacement process quickly.
And the chat room was mentioning it looked like they were moving really fast. The video was sped up just
Yeah, I'm sorry.
a little bit.
That was me.
you're
The
fine.
video was like 7 hours long, so I just kind of picked some of my favorite spots and sped them up to 4 times normal speed. So I apologize if that was...
No, it was really important work. They just were working really fast. It's totally fine.
You got to move fast when you're outside, you know?
Yeah.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Actually,
All right.
no, you got to move really slow.
Really
Yes,
slow.
you need to
Very
make
carefully.
sure and not drop anything and let anything fly away.
I love it. I love it. All right. So great.
But we're
That
only
was-
an hour show. So.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Okay, so we're going to take a little bit of a break. Jared and I and Mike are going to get a chance to sit down for a half second while Ben conducts an interview with Fraser Cain from Universe Today. So stay with us. We'll be right back.
Look into her face, determination in her eyes. She won't give up or quit or fall for little fashion lies. Filled with awesome expectation, this girl's a fascination. Nothing in her way will keep her from her destination. 'Cause she's fire walking, she's fire walking. When it's hot, she keeps on moving. Her heat keeps on improving. Yeah, she's fire walking, she's fire walking to be free.
And welcome back to Tomorrow. My name is Benjamin Higginbotham, coming to you from the observation deck of Station 204. Now, before we get started with our interview with Fraser Cain, I did want to give a huge shout out to all of the patrons of Tomorrow who have helped to make this brand new space station possible. These are people who have contributed $10 or more to this specific episode. These are our Escape Velocity patrons. We've also got our Orbital patrons. These are people who've contributed $5 or more to this specific episode. To find out how you can help crowdfund the shows of Tomorrow, head on over to patreon.com/TMRO. All right, I'd like to introduce Fraser Cain, the publisher of Universe Today. Fraser, thank you so much for taking time out of your Saturday and coming with us. Live Space Link, I guess we'll call this a live Space Link.
Fine, this is awesome, especially virtual space mic. I was literally fooled in the beginning there. That was awesome.
That's a little rough, Ben. Can I get a do-over on that one?
Yeah, absolutely. Sorry, we're gonna we get to play that game all over again. All right, let's go ahead.
Let me go through those motions.
Yeah, you want to hold for a second?
Here, yes.
Yep, I'm here.
Yeah. And it's Cain, not Crane. Crane is the one
Did I
from
say
the show.
Crane? Did I say Crane?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yes, you did.
I noticed a slight reaction on your face. I'm like, what did I say? Because you're like
We'll
right
never
here.
let you live it down. So, yeah.
How often does that happen to you?
All the time. Less and less. I had the name first, so
all
I'm
right.
just claiming. Yeah.
Okay, I think I'm good.
Yeah, and actually, I think when you come back, because you can come back with both the lower third and the thing can be staged. So if you want to just come back up with my banner, go to the lower third, and then come back without. Once the lower third is up once, you never have to show it again. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I'm not clear on how to take it out when I cut away. So we come back from break. You're on black.
Yep.
I come up.
Well, no, come up with the banner.
I do that.
No, don't do. Yeah, so actually, come up like that. You come up like that. So go to black. You can come up like that, right? And then you go to the slate.
Yeah, slate. But it does the toggle thing.
Right. So you're not hitting the on-off buttons, right?
I just did.
Yeah, never hit the on-off buttons. You're going to hit background or key. Right. So there you go.
Come up from that.
Yep. You go to the slate.
Yeah.
Cool. And now just hit background. Now you're only adjusting the background.
Copy.
Yep. And then if you want, when you want to do both, you hit background and key. Cool?
Yes.
Cool.
New things. New spaceship.
New spaceship, new space station, new techniques. Let's do this thing again. This is take number 2. That looked weird. Okay. And welcome back to Tomorrow. My name is Benjamin Higginbotham, coming to you live from the observation deck of Station 204. Now, before we get started with our interview, I wanted to give a huge shout out to all of the patrons of Tomorrow who have helped to make this specific segment of this episode happen. These are our Escape Velocity members. These are people who have contributed $10 or more to this specific episode. We've also got our Patreon Orbit members. These are people who have contributed $5 or more to this specific episode. To find out how you can help crowdfund the shows of Tomorrow, head on over to patreon.com/TMRO. All right. Brand new space station and brand new guests. We're bringing Fraser Cain on from Universe Today to talk a little bit about astronomy, because I think that's one of the areas that we're actually very, very weak in. We talk a lot about rocket hardware and what it takes to get to space. But I realized not that long ago, we're all about going to Mars, but when I go outside at night, I can't tell you where Mars is in the night sky. So let me ask you this. Why is astronomy important?
Why is astronomy important?
Yeah. I mean, let's
That's
start.
like asking, sure, why is anything important? Why is knowledge important? But no, astronomy is our way of contemplating our existence in the universe. It's a way of sort of giving everything perspective. We realize that we are just on this insignificant speck in this gigantic universe that goes on for billions of light years, maybe infinity. And so if you want to feel small, that is the way to do it. And obviously there are tons of more practical purposes. A lot of the space flight that you guys are all talking about is really based on astronomy, right? All of the ways of navigating around the solar system, all of the tools used for determining the ages of things, the distance to things, that's all astronomy. And it's going to come in really handy when they make those spacecraft capable of going to other stars. So that's why we have astronomy.
And what got you started in astronomy?
Well, I've been, an excited amateur astronomer since I was a kid, really. And I think I bought my first telescope when I was like 13 years old, and then hilariously sort of went into software development as a career, and then came back around to getting into astronomy and science journalism sort of in my mid-20s, and have stuck to it ever since. So I've always been super interested in astronomy and space exploration. Really, I'm not going to choose between my two favorite topics.
So let's talk about that a little bit. So one of the things, I don't want to say I didn't care about astronomy, because I think we all do, right? I mean, I obviously, we do. We're doing a space show. It would be ridiculous for me not to care about astronomy. But my thing is a little bit more of a backup of human civilization, right? Putting humans on Mars, going out, the exploration side of it. Now, obviously, there's a lot of exploration to the astronomy side of it as well. But, and I totally lost my train of thought on that. We're going to edit this show because I derailed it on my own space station. This is an interesting Saturday. So we built this new, we built this beautiful new set. We were here all night, and now, all right. So, Dada, where do you want me to take me? Where do you want me to take that back from?
I can just come up on 2.
No, come up. You weren't on a tight shot before.
No,
right?
I was not.
All right.
I switched from Fraser to you.
All right. So we can start from that shot, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
You want to give him a marker?
I'm sorry. Yeah, I just need one moment to gather myself here.
Copy.
This is why we're an internet show, Fraser.
I know
Fraser.
this is. I know the feeling. This is my life.
And
Wrangling and hating technology. That is all I do.
Thank you for being a gracious guest and allowing us
man.
to fumble in front of you.
Oh my God, it is super awkward, but it's fun. It is actually, yeah. Why don't we start with that? Working in space and astronomy is expensive and a huge time suck. So why do you keep at it? Why go? Yes, this is a thing that I want to do in my spare time. Because you don't do Universe Today full time, do you?
Yeah, I do.
Oh, okay. So, but you didn't always do Universe Today full time.
I'd say for 15 years I have been.
Okay, so well then let me back that way up. I thought you came back from a. Let's talk about your history then.
No, I've been the publisher of Universe Today for 17 years and have essentially just been doing both, doing space exploration news and astronomy news, sort of hand in hand. And then I think, the last 10 years I've been doing the Astronomy Cast podcast with Dr. Pamela Gay. So that's where, a lot of people see it from the astronomy side. But like when I do the Guide to Space, I sort of balance them, why, how is space trying to kill you? How, how do rockets work? What are all the ways we've explored Mars? And then I'll talk about more astronomy, cosmology type topics like, where's the center of the universe and, does the universe go on forever and things like that. So I've been, my whole job is reporting on space and astronomy and have been for, there's like maybe 2 years when I had an old job and then I was doing this, I was moonlighting this and then it just became my full-time job.
And what are some of your favorite astronomy stories that you've done? Like some of those things where you're like, oh my God, even I can't believe this.
Wow. You just blew my mind.
That reaction where you're like, oh my.
Yeah. Well, so I've been doing this long enough now that I have gone through this full cycle. So we who are fans of astronomy and space, we have these mysterious questions, like what does Ceres look like? What does Vesta look like? What do the moons of Saturn look like? And we literally, what does Pluto look like? We had no idea what Pluto looked like up close until 2015, right? July. So we've only known for like a year and a half what Pluto looks like up close. So we all grew up with all these known facts. We know how the sun works and we know how what a black hole is and a pulsar is and these kinds of things. But there's a whole class of things right now that we are watching people figure these out in real time. We're looking at things like gravitational waves and dark matter and dark energy. Dark energy was really only just discovered in 1998. The largest of volume, the largest component of the entire universe was only figured out, only identified and discovered, just less than 20 years ago, and we don't even know what it is. So I think my favorite part about this is just watching these stories unfold in real time. And being, having done this job for so long now, I kind of have perspective. And so people are so, they really want these things to get resolved. Like I don't believe in dark matter because it hasn't been figured out yet. And yet here we are watching it bit by bit, piece by piece, get figured out in real time. And that's the part that I just find so fascinating. So there's tons of these stories, what quasars are, what dark energy is, what dark matter is, accretion disk, how planets form, what are some of the surface features? Is there life on Mars? What is this methane in the atmosphere on Mars? What did Pluto look like? How has it got mountains made of ice? So there's just so much stuff. I don't even know where to start. Like, that's the great part about it.
And then how do you get people excited about these things, right? Because it's really easy for everyone to kind of look down and be like, oh, we have so many problems on Earth. But as Ministoj is asking, do you target people who are already space fans, or you try to engage the general public? How do you pull people in?
Well, you're just following my enthusiasm, I hope. So I can't be any other way than I am, and I get super, super excited about this kind of stuff, and I just go off on an epic rant. I really, really enjoy what's going on out there. I follow I'm like, this is cool. I really think this is really interesting to you, and then I turn around and I show people what I think I've found and what I think is interesting, and I think that seems to engage and people enjoy it. So I think that's I'm always making the stuff that I make, the stories I write, the podcasts that I do. I'm just kind of trying to, almost like, if I didn't know these things, these are the things that I would want to know. And it appears that other people sort of appreciate coming along for the ride. And that's just all I can follow is my own enthusiasm. And it seems to be catchy.
And as Citizen Big Number asks, do you think that's the best strategy for spreading awareness, like getting other people? I think we're all kind of or at least at TMRO, we kind of have this all ship rises with the tide, right? So if we can get more people excited about space exploration and going out there and learning things, then we'll be able to do more space exploration, going out there and learning things. And is that the key, being enthusiastic?
Well, I think enthusiasm is important. If you see somebody into something, then that's something that you're going to be into too. But I mean, you look at our popular culture, look at all the top movies, look at all the top video games. They're all space-based, right? That there is in the popular culture this appreciation and excitement for the future, for humans' exploration of space, for the kinds of really interesting stuff that's out there. So I think that enthusiasm already exists. I think that popular culture has already identified it, and I think that other people are sort of catching up to that enthusiasm that is already there and finally treating it with a certain amount of respect. You go see Rogue One, that's got spaceships, it's got engines that can get you faster than the speed of light. You've got artificial gravity. You've got mega structures. You've got, galactic empires. You've got all these concepts which are space exploration, space astronomy related. And why are these movies so popular? If you look at all of the top movies ever, a lot of them have to do with space. Avatar, tons of them. So I think that enthusiasm is already there. There isn't sort of a larger funnel that takes people's initial enthusiasm and then shows them that this stuff is actually as interesting and as exciting as the space movie or the space video game has led you to believe. And I think that's just the gap. And that's where I like to live, which is to say, remember that Death Star? Let's figure out how that Death Star would actually work if it was going to try and destroy a planet. What are the kinds of science that's being discovered that would make it feasible or infeasible?
Does that mean that you're the evil villain if you're trying to build the Death Star? Where does that... Because I've always wanted to be the evil villain. So are you the villain or the hero then?
Well, I guess it's a race. Whichever one of us can build the Death Star first. I think neither of us will. So,
Jazz Throat asks, some of these topics are fairly complicated. The astronomy gets pretty heady. It's pretty deep in math from time to time. How long does it take you to research some of these topics?
Well, I mean, keep in mind, once again, I'm a journalist, not an astronomer. So my background is in computer science. I think I have a failed year of engineering. So my physics, I have 1 year of engineering under my belt. So my physics understanding is sort of mid-university level. And so I rely on a lot of people. When we do our weekly space hangout, all of our regular panelists pretty much are PhD astrophysicists, cosmologists, or working in that direction. So I lean pretty heavily on the people around me who know the science better. And I think there's the two levels to it, right? And I'm sure it's the same with the space exploration people. There's the people who want to know that the rocket launched and it's arriving and it's going to have to aerobrake and it's going to have to land and there's some problems with that it's complicated and difficult to land on the surface of Mars. And those people who want to know the thrust and the velocity and the delta V, and they want to know the specifics of what kind of materials are being used. So I typically stay in the first area where I keep it a little less specific, but I also really try to appreciate the raw intelligence of the people that I'm explaining this stuff to. The other thing as well is that, there's a story that's getting built over time, that you're explaining these topics, and as people come along for the ride, you can start to gloss over the stuff that we all know about, that quasars are actually actively feeding supermassive black holes, and get to the new stuff, or get to the interesting stuff. And I'm sure you do the same as well, which is that, you put everything into context for people, and over time you can spend a lot more time sort of in, building on the newer knowledge. That's the way I approach it.
Yeah, I'll say for us, it's a little bit. It's a constant balancing act, right? Because you always have new people, and you're always trying to engage new people, and maybe those people who were really interested in space as a kid, and then kind of almost grew out of it, right? It wasn't cool maybe in high school anymore. At least that's what happened to me, right? And then you want to rekindle that passion, but they're coming from essentially a blank slate. So for us, we have no acronym policies, and always, we don't want to assume you're stupid, because you're not. The general audience of tomorrow knows what's going on, even if you're new. But then trying to balance that with the people who are really deep into this stuff, right? Really are into the weeds of it and know all of it. For us, that's fairly complicated. Is it the same deal with you, or you just kind of go, you know what, this is what feels right, this is what we're going to do?
Yeah, well, I mean, that's always the balance, right? And you just have to use your instincts on that. But I think a lot of the feedback that we get with say, Astronomy Cast is that we do get that balance right, that we are, and that's sort of my job of the show. Pamela is the PhD astrophysicist. I am the layman everyman, and I am asking the questions. And if something is sort of over my head, I'm trying to get her to break it down further, but not too far, not to the point that it really does feel like it's getting dumbed down. And my hope is that when a person, we just did the interview with astronaut Abby yesterday on the Weekly Space Hangout, and it was great. And she said, wow, you asked me a bunch of questions that nobody's ever asked me before, because I do know enough of this information to get past all of the, the stuff at the top and go to the deeper stuff that I think is interesting to the audience and interesting to me. So, we always have that balance. And I think what's important is that I'm so excited and enthusiastic about what we're doing. I am playing video games about it. I am listening to podcasts. I'm watching science fiction. I'm reading books. I'm writing stories. I'm creating videos. I'm just immersed in it all the time, and I think about it all the time. It sounds like I'm a crazy person, but anyway. But you know what I mean? Like you're just immersed in it, and you can sort of be the guide and be the person who looks at all the stuff that's out there and goes, "Hey, everybody, this is interesting this week," and then have something different that's interesting next week.
You said you're playing video games about it. What are some of your favorite video games that you're playing?
Well, I love Kerbal Space Program.
Oh, of course.
The quote I always say is that I learned more about the orbital mechanics of playing Kerbal Space Program in about 8 hours than I had in 15 years of reporting on space exploration. That suddenly pieces of the puzzle all dropped into my brain, which was great. I've been playing No Man's Sky, but I'm not a huge fan of it. I've been playing Stellaris, yeah, which is great. I really enjoy the Paradox games. I play a ton of Europa Universalis, which is but it's not very space-based.
You mentioned Kerbal Space Program. It reminds me of the XKCD comic, where talking about how how much you know about orbital mechanics. Your high school, college, hired at NASA, goes up a little bit. Started playing KSP just straight off the top of the graph. So games. You also mentioned like movies and books. What are some of your favorite? Like, you watch Interstellar? Do you get angry at some of the things? You're like, oh no!
Yeah, I got a little, yeah, but don't you? I mean, oh man, yeah. I mean, you watch.
I think I'm okay with suspending disbelief to a point, right? I mean, I guess it depends. Like, you watch The Martian, for example. I think they did and maybe this is bad to say, but I think they did an okay enough job with the science that it was acceptable. But then there are other movies like The Core where they did not do an okay enough job with the science, and it's not acceptable.
Yeah. Yeah, so I mean, it's like sometimes it's so bad it's good, right? We did a Let's Watch of Armageddon, where a PhD astrophysicist and I, Nicole Galucci, actually she's a radio astronomer, and we watched Armageddon live with our fans, and then just did it's sort of like riff tracks, and it was so painful, and so many. It's an asteroid the size of Texas. Well, there's only one, right? Ceres. That is the asteroid the size of Texas. We know where it is. It's not coming anywhere near us. So, that is the. I like you. I give science fiction. I give it a number of gimmies, right? So, and then there's a couple where you do have to sort of say, well, like, I guess what I feel is like when it's lazy, when they could have made it scientifically accurate, but they just didn't bother because they were feeling lazy, or they could have written it so that it was scientifically accurate. They could have it was exactly as much work the way they showed it to one that's scientifically accurate. That's where I get a little, I don't know, a little frustrated. I mean, you just like when robots are catching people who've fallen off of a building and they don't go splat in the hand the way the laws of physics say they should, and instead they could have the robot, decelerate the person as they catch them. It's the same animation. You just show the scientifically accurate version with your big giant transforming robot.
All right, so what's your favorite movie though? Like favorite space movie, like right now at least?
Well, it's got to be The Martian, I would say, is my favorite, but that was like my favorite space book recently as well. I mean, the book was just phenomenal, and everyone I've given the book to just can't put it down. They read it, they pick it up, they finish it, and then they're like, wow, that was awesome. And the movie was the best possible implementation that I think we all could have asked for of the book. So I think that made me very hopeful for what the future holds in terms of just being able to show that you can be scientifically accurate at the same time as telling an amazing story. And if anything, the scientific accuracy adds to the drama, adds to the level of conflict, and makes it a more exciting story. So I hope that we're entering this phase where popular culture, I think with all the Marvel movies, are taking fandom seriously. They're saying, oh, okay, you love this thing, and we're not just going to give you garbage because we know you're going to pay for it because you people are stupid. We are going to take this thing that you love, like Doctor Strange or the, Wolverine or whatever, Deadpool, and take it very seriously and give you an experience that you as a fan are really going to appreciate. And, the next frontier is to do this with science. And I think that's starting to happen now. And I think it's great for our overall culture that if people who make these kinds of movies, science fiction, video games, can create entertainment that is also scientifically accurate and show that this stuff is super interesting. So I think I'm super pumped at this corner that we've turned, and I'm really looking forward to what comes next.
All right, so just in general, we'll end on this question before we get into our little general questions. What are you pumped about most? There we go.
There we go. Yep.
I'm sorry, what are you pumped about most in 2017?
Pumped about most? We actually just had this conversation about in the weekly Space Hangout yesterday, and you guys, I'm sure, know it's not a super crazy year for space exploration because we're in this in-between time between the outside of the Mars launch windows. There's not a lot of big stuff happening. There's the TESS spacecraft, which is going to give us a ton of new exoplanet discoveries. That's going to launch this year. But from a sort of a visual observing side, the big event is going to be the total solar eclipse that's going to be crossing the United States on August 21st, 2017. So it's going to go from Oregon to Nashville. And if you are in the United States or can get to the United States, you should absolutely make your plans to go and see this. Find a spot that you want to go to, make a road trip, get a hotel. There's a lot of people that after they see a total solar eclipse, they get hooked and they want to chase them around the world. So this is going to be one of the most accessible eclipses to the vast majority of Americans that's ever been out there. And I think if anything is going to boost people's interest in science, it's going to be this eclipse. So this is the thing that I am, it's the thing I am most excited about almost of the decade, and we're only a few months away now.
So, and actually, one last question. For me, something like that was similar. I kind of cared about astronomy. I was like, oh yeah, I mean, this matters. But I was more about the rockets, the spaceships, the hardware, the engineering behind all of it. And then I got a tour of Griffith Observatory from Jared, and it blew my mind. I mean, it was absolutely incredible and reawakened something in me that was just mind-blowingly awesome. Is this one of those moments for people that maybe this can, awaken something special in them, or is there a different moment where you're like, you need to do this, it will change your life?
Yeah. I have a super easy thing that people can do, which is to look at Saturn through a telescope. So it's any small telescope can show Saturn. And when you do that and you realize, you look up in the sky and there's that dot, and that's Saturn, and then you look in the telescope and there you can see the rings, and if the telescope's good enough, you can see the Cassini division. It is this connection to space, to these things that you've seen. You see pictures of Cassini taking shots of the moons, but you don't really realize that that thing is up in space and it's right over there, and that you can go outside and see it. Right now, I'm sure people have noticed that Venus, Mars, and the moon they were fairly close in the sky a couple of days ago. Now the moon is kind of pushed a little to the east from them, but Neptune and Uranus are in that same cluster as well. So you can actually take a picture that had the moon, Uranus, Neptune, Mars, Venus all at the same time. You can do that with a pair of binoculars. You can see all of them, and then in the morning you can see Jupiter. So but it's that, like, seeing Saturn. And so if anyone in the audience has never seen Saturn through a telescope, that's one of the things that you really got to do. And then the other one is like a big comet. A big comet with the unaided eye that you can actually see. That is mind-bending. And we haven't had a good comet now for more than 20 years.
When's the next good comet that would be?
We don't know. We don't know. That's the problem, right? Is we don't know when they come. They show up, they graze the sun, they fly close to the earth, and they have this huge tail, and we can see it in the sky. And we haven't seen one in a long time. So no, this is... we always make this joke, the universe owes me a comet. We were supposed to get this amazing comet a couple of years ago, and it fizzled out, cracked up, and disappeared. And so now the universe owes me. I gave the universe a ton of press time. We talked about it. I spent so much time going on and on about it, and then it never happened, and I need a do-over.
Well, and because the universe owes you, when you call in that chip, it's going to be an amazing comet. It's going to be great. Look up and be like, oh my gosh, it's going to be just fantastic.
Yeah, there it is. Okay, universe, we're square.
All right. Before we go into break, just a few quick general questions that we ask all of our guests. The first is Moon or Mars first?
Moon.
Why?
Well, because it's close, and that space is hard, and I think that it's better to figure out a lot of the technology on the surface of the moon where it is close, and it's tougher. I mean, the gravity is lower, the atmosphere is worse, the radiation is harsher, so all of those things are worse, and so any technology that you can develop on the moon should be fairly applicable to what you do over on Mars, where it's easier. The regolith is more toxic if you get it in your lungs, so it's a tougher challenge. And at the same time, though, it's closer, and so if you're like, oh my God, they need a spatula, and then you can fly them up a spatula and get it to them within a week, right?
Space spatula needed, stat!
Exactly. And then you can also rescue them, and you can also communicate with them so that you can in real time go, did you turn it off? Did you turn it on again? Try it now. Why isn't this Skype working? That kind of thing.
Would you go?
No.
Ever?
No, sure, ever, yeah, but I am not the person who wants to go and dedicate his life to trying to hew civilization out of the Martian regolith. It's gonna be, whoever goes there has got a really tough job ahead of them. And personally, I love Earth. I love the oceans and the mountains and the trees. And I've just barely started exploring this planet. Now, if I could go, climb to the top of Olympus Mons and jump around for a little while, I would totally do it as a vacation and then come back a year later safely. But I am not the person who is going to go and try to push humanity to that next level. I got kids. As I said, I like Earth.
So you'll vacation, but you won't settle.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right. Same thing with the moon. Same thing with the moon. You would go to the moon, you vacation, but you're not going to stay there.
Absolutely. Once those colonists have made that place safe, I will come and visit them and cheer them on. And I will cheer them on from here on Earth. I'm enthusiastically supportive of anybody who chooses to go and live that life. I think you're a better person than me.
Just you'll wait for the indoor plumbing to work.
I'll wait. Exactly. I just need a space toilet that's going to work.
They don't work. They keep breaking down. You'd think the space toilet is not that hard.
See, that is the hardest challenge of all. Is how can we poop in space? And until that gets solved, I think all that other stuff just hasn't really been figured out yet.
I feel like that's the name of this episode. Hardest challenge of all. How do we poop in space?
How do we poop in space?
When do you think humans will first land on Mars?
So we have this term that we call Musk time, right? And so
just doing the soul conversion.
Yeah, exactly. So you take whatever number Elon Musk gives you, and he tends to fulfill his commitments. It just takes longer than you think, and depending on the complexity of the commitment, you have to extend a certain amount of Musk time. So he says the Red Dragon's going to go in 2018. That the first colonial transporter filled with 100 people is going to go in 2024. I think that's going to happen. It probably won't have 100 people on it, and it's probably not going to go in 2024. But I think we are within a decade of his estimate of when this thing actually does get off the ground and go to Mars. I think he's serious. I think he's deadly serious that this is the future of SpaceX. And when he does things like say, oh, well, to fund it, we're going to put up 3,000 satellites orbiting Earth, providing high-speed gigabit internet to everyone on Earth, yeah, that would pay for it, right? so I think that Musk is committed to the cause and is innovative enough to raise the money and see these things through to when they happen. So I do think that it's probably going to be SpaceX. It's probably going to be within a decade of that original estimate that humans are going to be setting foot on Mars. I don't know when people are going to return to the moon. I hope it's sooner. It's probably going to be the Chinese, is sort of my feeling now. They're moving very quickly and very aggressively towards these, towards colonizing the moon. And what you're seeing with some of their rovers, some of their space stations, and some of their missions pushing out past lunar orbit. So that's what I think is that. Those are my off the cuff predictions.
And the very last question is, why space?
Why space as opposed to anything? Well, I'm sure you get that classic question, right? It's why should we explore space when we have all these problems here on Earth, right? And the first thing is that's a ridiculous question to ask. That why take out pizza, right? That the amount that the Americans spend on takeout pizza is I think $50 billion a year. So it makes stop eating takeout pizza and explore space, and 3 times over what the NASA's budget is. So I think that sort of first question is, we spend all kinds of money on all kinds of things that other people think are ridiculous, and don't you judge? It's sort of that first question. But I think the other thing is that we need to explore space to make life on Earth better. I really, a lot of people thought that Jeff Bezos' answer to this question about he's not a fan of Mars. He wants to get all that heavy industry off the surface of Earth and out into space to help protect Earth. And I think that's a great idea. You get all of this pollution, all of this garbage, all of this radiation, and get it off the planet, get it out into space, send the completed things back down to Earth, send the energy back down to Earth, and keep this planet the best you can. And I think the more we get this stuff off of the planet, the more we can make Earth better. And so, in fact, we may require going to space to make Earth better and to solve the problems that we have here on Earth. And of course, the other part is that we adventure and we explore. It's what human beings do, and you can't stop us. We're just going to keep going.
You've got a ton of media outlets. Where can people find you and all the different shows and assets that you're working at online?
Well, so right now, I think, of course, Universe Today. If you just search Universe Today, you'll find our website, you'll find our YouTube channel, you'll find our podcast, you'll find all the stuff that we're doing. So I think YouTube is a good one. And then, did we disconnect?
No, you're frozen, but we can still hear you. YouTube.
Okay, all right. Yeah, so all right. So do you want to answer the question again? Sorry. Go.
Yep, go ahead. Let's, Dada, what do you want to take that back from?
Ask the question again.
All right. So Sorry, let me reframe. So you have a lot of media assets online. Where can people go to find you?
Well, the best thing to do is just search for Universe Today. We try to be everywhere in all the places. So obviously the website, and then we do the Guide to Space and all of our shows on YouTube. We've got a cool Instagram channel where we feature people's astrophotography. And then, of course, the other big thing is Astronomy Cast, which we're on our 10th season now. We've got more than 300 episodes. And so if you want to learn about space and bring yourself up to speed on the astronomy side of it, I think you'll really enjoy that.
And I see you've got a Patreon logo in the background as well. We're funded. Do a little Patreon plug if you want.
Sure. Well, I mean, I think before I plug my own Patreon, I'm going to plug your Patreon, which is that this is, I mean, Patreon is, in my mind, is this revolution, right? That we, until this point, and you look at traditional media, they were all funded by advertising. And now for the first time, there's an opportunity for we as creators to connect directly with the fans and create the content that you want to see. And so when you look at all of those people who are donating money to the show, and then you're seeing the amazing set that's getting created, that you're able to bring in virtual hologram versions of yourselves and all this cool camera switching gear. I mean, this stuff costs money, and you are spending the money to make this show better and better, and bringing in amazing guests, of course. So I think that if you are watching this show and you enjoy it, and just look inside your heart, and do you enjoy this show, then it's really, I think, an amazing step to go and join the Patreon campaign. You don't have to join from, I'm sure you guys, it's like start with $1, right? You'll see what that level of connection and fanship for the thing that you love means to the people who are creating it. And I can't recommend getting, you already spend money on a movie ticket. You already go and you buy a video game. You already go and get a cable subscription. So if you love watching this show, you should join their Patreon campaign. And of course, mine is at patreon.com/universe today.
And the same goes for you. I know we're supposed to be going to break, but that was a very great, passionate plea. And it's very true. Did it change for you? Did it change your show as well? I mean, was it just a game changer in your world?
It's two things, right? One, you have this group of people that you can't believe that people love what you're doing enough to donate money. And I think that's the part that you sort of have this imposter syndrome where you're like, wait a minute, what? You want me to do this more and you want to help me have this be a career? Okay, I will do this for you. So I think that's the step that's amazing. And you it's just $1, it's $2. You don't realize how much of a difference it makes in the minds of the creators who they're so used to just not being able to make money from it. So I think it was absolutely it's a game changer. It had blown my mind to be able to do it. And I think that if you're a creator, it is the best way to go forward. In fact, I really have one goal, which is I'm going to cut advertising off of everything as soon as we reach a certain point.
We've actually done that. We've killed as much ads as we can that we're able to kill. I mean, they'll allow us. I mean, if the only advertising we have left is stuff that we're not allowed to take off.
Yeah. So, and that's the same thing for me is I have writers, we have editors, we have people that do video editing. We have to pay these people's salaries.
Sure.
And yet every year the amount that we're getting from the patrons grows, and eventually we'll be able to shut off the advertising and still pay everybody's salaries. And then we only make stuff for one group, which is the fans, and that is just going to be super exciting. And so again, if you're a fan of this show and you have any money, just $1, become a patron.
Yeah, and actually, seriously, to that, I'd love to have the community tomorrow help Universe Today get to that goal of no advertising and really make it a community-based show. I think that's what makes all of this so incredibly awesome, is we're a tight-knit community of space geeks who want to see humanity do great and incredible things, and platforms like this help us do that. So like you said, just $1, patreon.com/universe today. Fraser, thank you so much for taking time out of your Saturday.
Glad to be here.
And helping us struggle through this particular one. It was a little rougher than normal, but you're a very easy guest to have on. So thank you so much. All right.
Thanks for having me.
We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, comments from our last year's show. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Look into her face, determination in her eyes. She won't give up or quit or fall for little fashion lies. Filled with awesome expectation, this girl's a fascination. Nothing in her way will keep her from her destination. 'Cause she's fire walking, she's fire walking. When it's hot, she keeps on moving. Her heat keeps on improving. Yeah, she's fire walking, she's fire walking to be free.
All right, I just wanted to thank you again for coming on the air. Before I walk into the control room to do the comments, you don't have to hang out. I would know we've taken a great deal of your Saturday. It was rough. Thank you for helping me recover. It's been so long since I've done an interview. It took me a really long time to get into that again, and you really did help me out. So I really appreciate that.
No problem. Just anytime you need someone to talk to bring the astronomy side, I'll be glad to jump in.
That's great. Thank you again. I do want to bring you back on because I really do want to debate you on the whole aliens thing. This just felt like a better opening to the new year in the
Where are all the aliens?
Yeah. You wrote an article that said where are all the aliens, and you made some very good points. And I have some decent counterpoints that I would love to debate live on the air. I thought that would be a lot of fun. But
that sounds great.
Yeah.
I love it.
All right. So again, thank you so much. I don't want to. If you want to hang out, you totally can. But otherwise, the rest, you give back your Saturday.
Okay, I'll go.
Great.
Thanks a lot for having me. Thanks for everyone watching the sausage get made. We'll see you guys all next time.
It was rough. All right, thank you.
Yeah.
See ya. All right, guys, I'm heading into the control room. Oh my God, I can't remember the last time I just blanked like that. That is going to be a complex edit.
Yeah, that was amazing.
That was bad.
You were like, and so then the...
I was done. My brain was like, nope.
That's right. The chat room was like, so Westworld much, huh?
And then I think the chat room saw me struggling and so started throwing me some bones. That actually helped. And then I got back in. I felt like I got back into my stride and was able to start.
You did, because then you promptly ignored anything anyone else said.
Well, once I got back into it, I felt like I'm like, okay, here we go. Right? And we started having some. It was interesting, right? I mean,
Yeah.
Right.
Yes, you could tell you were in bed mode.
All right.
Are you doing this one? Are you doing this one? Who's opening this?
I'll open this one.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Go for it.
Whew. Yeah, you don't have to do nameplates at this point. We've already named everyone.
I don't have one for everybody.
Yeah, exactly. There you go. And welcome back to Tomorrow. Now, before we get started with comments from last year's show, I did want to give a shout out to all of the patrons of Tomorrow who helped to make this specific segment of this episode happen. These are the ground segment crew. You'll notice we've changed the names of all of the patron levels.
I'm sorry. Ground segment.
Well, these are ground support, but technically this is supposed to be suborbital. Right? You're supposed to go 3 and then. No. This is supposed to be escape velocity. Yeah, we will go 4, 3, 2, 1.
Velocity.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Sub.
Yeah. Hey, you're something you guys you're not gonna believe. We're gonna start this segment over again.
What? That hasn't happened for 3 segments.
Oh my God. The amount of editing I'm gonna have to do.
This show's never.
We need to
gonna
have
air.
like a little board like somewhere in the studio that says, this many segments since the restart. We've gone 3 segments without a restart.
You know what's stupid is I don't have time to like keep track and type out all the things that need to be edited during the show because I'm
I know.
trying to make the show.
I know.
Just pretend it's everything. Ready?
Yeah,
Yeah, it is. All right, let's do this. I like the new titles. And welcome back to Tomorrow. Now, before we get started with comments from our last year's show, I did want to give a huge shout out to all of the patrons of Tomorrow who have helped to make this specific segment of this episode happen. These. This is fantastic. This is why you watch live. This doesn't even happen in After Dark. This is why you watch live.
Take 3.
All right. And welcome back to Tomorrow. Now, before we get started with comments from our last year's show, I did want to give a huge shout out to all of the patrons of TMRO who have helped make this specific segment of this episode happen. These are our Escape Velocity citizens. These are people who've contributed $10 or more to this episode. We've also got our Orbital citizens. These are people who've contributed $5 or more to this specific episode. And then we've, of course, got Suborbital. These are people who've contributed $2.50 or more. And at this level and above, you're going to get access to After Dark, which will be very interesting this week, and a bunch of other fun things. And then we've also got our ground support crew as well. These are people who've contributed $1 or more to this specific episode. To find out how you can help crowdfund the shows of tomorrow and get your name in the show as a huge, giant thank you, head on over to patreon.com/TMRO. You'll notice the names are all different from last year, but the levels are identical. So all we did was tweak the names. We had Premiere.
We tweak the names of the levels.
Tweak the names of the levels, right? So
Your name in the show, still the same.
Your name in the show is the same. So the Premiere members are now Escape Velocity. We had producers, those are now Orbital. We had Patreon Plus, that's now Suborbital, and Ground Support are our patrons. So I think that's actually a really clever name. And just much like a lot of this show, that happened like at this morning? I think that happened this morning. It happened like 2 hours before this show. We're like, let's change everything. So there you go. All right. Also, Space Mike, I'm loving the screen, the rotation. It's your interaction with it. Like, yeah, you looking and then looking at the computer. And what's hilarious is he actually does have a computer down at that angle. So when he's looking down, he actually is looking legitimately at a computer. I think that's all sorts of awesome. All right, let's go ahead and...
It's a little pixelated, though. It's kind of hard to read.
All right, let's go ahead and get started with some comments from last year's show. Capcom, take us away.
So last year's show, the previous show's topic, as it were, was 3D printed habitats, which I didn't think was right, so I went back and double-checked. That is true.
It was.
That's exactly
Centennial Challenge. Yep.
Yeah, no, I for some reason, that was the part I remembered and not what the actual challenge was. Sorry. And in case anybody cares, there is a NASA challenge about poop.
Oh, fantastic.
About space poop.
Tying in the interview.
Better toilets.
Yeah, exactly. So, it's, yeah. Anyhow.
Sounds fun.
Right. Who doesn't like poop? So, first comment comes off of YouTube. This one is from Fabio Milan.
Longtime commenter.
Yes. About the last episode of the Nat Geo Mars, the one with the delusional botanic scientist? Is that what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
What the hell were they thinking in putting a simple decompression door? No double decompression doors for you? Crazy scientists.
What were they thinking? Why would you build any sort of... That's not a scenario you would ever... I think that's our gripe with that show, is that they're put into non-real scenarios. The science was legit, but the scenarios were not legit. You would not have a door that just goes straight to the Martian atmosphere. There would be a chamber in between to prevent that exact scenario.
Well, even in one of the other segments of that particular show, I'm pretty sure, they come in from outside and then they have the little area where they decompression zone and they have to dust off and all that other stuff.
There's never a time when you would need to open that door
but apparently,
and go outside to Mars.
Right. No, that's exactly it. Like, apparently they only have that on the front door.
I don't know. So we totally agree, right, crew.
Yeah.
Space Mike, did you watch? Did you watch it as well? Did you watch the Nat Geo Mars?
I actually have to admit I haven't been watching a whole lot of them. I think I've only gotten through the first 2 episodes. So
we spoiled that for you. Just so you know, they're going to open a door that should never exist.
Does everyone die?
No.
I'll
but
find out. I'll find out.
That's more Rogue One-ish.
Oh, wow.
Oh, there was a spoiler.
You're welcome, Internet. Oh, please. Like, you knew that going in. Anyhow. All right. Next up.
This one comes from Zapfan. Also off of YouTube.
Wait, is it this way?
I don't know.
This way.
Just go to the comment. Seriously.
This way.
I'm going to figure out where that button is. I'm going to press it myself. I think SpaceX is a better idea for crew safety and launch abort. In their way that the crew can always escape. If something had gone wrong with the Saturn V or the space shuttle, when the crew were getting in the vehicle, they had to get to the bottom of the tower and get into a bunker, get away from an armored vehicle, which would have taken an eternity.
Yeah, so
okay.
Why don't we send that over to Space Mike and give us some context as to what they're talking about? We all turned...
with the Saturn V and like your traditional launch abort tower, which the Orion space capsule is going to be using, you can only do that launch abort during certain phases of flight. You can't do it necessarily during max Q. You can do it before and a little while afterwards, and then once you've jettisoned that and jettisoned your boosters, then you can't do it anymore.
Well, Mike, I'm going to pause you.
Itself
Yeah,
didn't
Hang on,
necessarily
Mike,
have-
pause.
Hold up,
TiVo,
sorry.
pause. Bloop. Wait, hang on. What's the line? It's Mike's seesaw motor functions. There you go. Oh, he doesn't watch Westworld.
No, he doesn't.
Never mind.
Stop making pop culture references.
So, Mike, I think they're referencing the fueling that SpaceX wants to do on the pad, which is a little bit different, right? So they wanted to fuel the vehicle. Let's see, how do they want to do this? They want to load the crew onto the vehicle and then fuel it, as opposed to what we traditionally do, which is fuel the
Load the
vehicle
rocket
and
first and
then bring the crew on. So I think that's the context of this particular.
I was taking it more as the pusher escape system, that they could do that at any time and even use those same engines for landing as well.
Yeah, but I think it's a specific line. Go back to the comment if you can. I know you've already advanced. But it's the comment, when the crew were getting into the vehicle, I think is the specific line, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think in this instance, why does it matter when it's fueled? Like when you're getting in the vehicle, why does that make any difference?
I think that, honestly, SpaceX's anomaly on September 1st last year, I think, is what raised the most concerns. Like, if SpaceX, can have an accident like that happen during fueling operations, then that could very much put astronauts at risk. So I think that's kind of the main reason why that was brought to a lot of people's attention, and people voiced concerns over the idea of having the astronauts board the vehicle and then fuel the rocket. So that's what I'm getting from that. I mean, rocketry is extremely risky one way or another. Whether we're fueling it before or after the crew gets on board, in my opinion, it's equally as risky, but that's just my opinion.
All right, next up, Capcom.
This one also comes off of YouTube. Oh, I should have read this one beforehand. It was shortened, so I figured, I'm not going to screw this one up. It's from Earfront. It says, dark matter's not a thing. Get used to it.
Jared?
Uh-oh.
Okay, dark matter is a thing. Get used to it. And in fact, I have reached a level of I'm not going to put up with this anymore, so much that I'm doing a space pod for January about dark matter. So, but we're going to find out whether I'm right or I'm wrong. Either way, with that. So, but yeah, you can see the effects of it. Does that necessarily mean it's a thing or not? Well, that's the great question. I guess that's the Nobel Prize winning question at that point, as to whether it makes it an actual type of matter or not. But that's going to be one of the fun things we're going to find out in the space pod, is whether dark matter really is a thing or not. And I'm leaning towards the fact that it is a thing, because if dark matter wasn't real, you wouldn't be able to see the influence of it.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, We're gonna since we've seen, even though we don't know what it is, we have detected it. We know that we've seen that it's there. That just because we don't know what it is doesn't mean that it doesn't exist.
Yeah,
because we've observed
you
it.
could weak and strong nuclear forces. They're very small they're very powerful forces that happen on such small scales that you and I can't see them personally. So are we going to say that because of that we can't? That there's no such thing as the weak or strong nuclear force? I mean, that would be just ridiculous to do something like that. So.
That's cool that you're made of atoms, but I'm not made out of atoms because
Yeah,
I don't believe that
my
exists.
atoms are not actually
And I can't see mine,
bonded,
so, whatever.
So I'm just an aether drifting around that just so happens to be unable to go through solid things. So.
I did not know that about you. All right, next up, Capcom. Last comment.
So much.
The last comment comes off of YouTube as well. This is from BPG131313. Surprised that none of you mentioned that 2016 was the year you moved into a new studio. It's kind of a big deal.
Yeah. We've been, no, we haven't been. Dada has been working his fool head off. From the moment that last show in 2016 ended, we're like, thanks everyone, goodbye, see you next year. Dip to black. He hit stop, walked out there and started ripping things apart so he could begin preparing for the set this year, or the sets plural. And I think they are all sorts of incredible. The observation deck that I came up with like moments before I went out there.
Yeah, no, we noticed that. That was great.
Do we like that? Is that sticking? Am I keeping that observation
Yeah, I
deck?
like
all right,
that.
all right.
We can discuss all that later.
We're keeping it. So that's how that's going to work. So the observation deck, I think, looks absolutely incredible. It is 25 feet wide. It's got that planet is not green screen, so we'll be able to do some camera movements. It's just absolutely incredible. It's not actually done yet, much to Dutta's dismay. So we're going to show you in After Dark some of the parts that go in those windows that are clearly not quite done. I'm just going to warn you, After Dark may have some stronger language this particular week. Because he struggled. He was up insane crazy hours. He gave up his last 2 weeks. He was supposed to be on vacation. He didn't get any of it. Working like you wouldn't believe to get everything done. And I just, from the bottom of my heart and from everyone here, I want to thank him because we would not be where we're at right now. Even this control room looking like this is all thanks to him. Even this desk. Let me just tell you the story of this desk before we go.
After dark.
No. I'm going to tell the story of this desk in the main show, and then we're going to go into After Dark. This is a very long show. I don't care. So we went to IKEA to get a desk because this room was supposed to be my problem. So we went to get a desk and we were there and we just couldn't find anything. And we came back and we're like, dude, we couldn't find anything. It all sucks. He's like, well, I can build you a shape that coordinates with the windows that we're creating. We're like, okay. So he said, you need to go get legs. So we went back and we got legs. By the time we came back, this was done and ready to go, and he was continuing to work on the main set.
I was going to say, this was done and literally gathering dust.
Yeah, he was like, paint it, attach the legs, your problem now.
Yeah.
So that is the level of awesome that he bring to the show. So again, huge thank you to Dutta and his wife for letting him do this because it was crazy. Like I said, we're going to show you all this fun stuff in After Dark. Speaking of, After Dark is up next. And then for everyone else, it'll be available in a few weeks. Thank you so much for joining, and we'll see you next week.
See you guys.
We got through it! Go back to it. No, let's just show.
You had one job.
One job.
Seriously!
That's the last frame. It doesn't quite hit black.
Stupid.
It almost hits black.
Almost. Almost.
All right.
You need to make sure that all of your outs have black on them because you do that a lot.
A lot.
No, here's
A
what
lot.
happened. No,
A
here's
lot.
what happens. I dip to black. And I tell it to go all the way down, and it does in the editing software, but you have to forcefully add another 2 frames after the last frame, or it will do exactly that. And if you forget to do it, even though it doesn't look wrong, it will be wrong. All right. Yes, my hair is red. My hair is getting fixed today. It was red for the last show. Yeah, new outro, new intro, new everything. Hang on. This is...
Keep that door open, it's warm in here.
Yeah, no, I'm working on that part, actually. That's the problem. There you go. It'll cool down now.
We need an open.
We do. How do we want to do the open? Should we just do it from here?
Should we all just walk in and be like, it's all brand new?
Ooh.
Good morning. How's everything up in the sky?
Yeah, go ahead and play it. Go ahead and play it. Let him see it.
Here it is.
Good morning. How's everything up in the sky?
Gotta fix that. It's struggling.
I can do it.
I think that's actually a disk playback speed issue. I have a solid state drive I'm going to drop in the computer, and I forgot to do it before the show. So I will need to do that.
That's been happening a lot to the launch countdowns too.
Yeah, so what it is the
countdown.
launch countdowns have actually been for those who don't know, this entire show was done in 4K. Woo! So the cameras were 4K, that playback open was 4K, Mike is in it's all freaking 4K. So I don't know what Jared is doing, but he's 2K. So 4K show, recorded as 4K. We stream live at 1080p because we don't have the bandwidth to stream live at 4K. But after I'm done editing this sometime next week, I'll upload it to YouTube as 4K, and the only place you can get the show in 4K will be YouTube, or possibly Vimeo if we start doing that again. We're not going to make it available in iTunes at 4K because I don't want to spend the money on the download. So if you want to watch it there, YouTube. All right, so open. We need an open.
Who made the music?
Subtractive made the music. Did we like the music? Did we like that open? Everyone cool with it?
It's not only USA Rockets.
Oh no, it's not just U.S. rockets. Yeah, no, actually.
There's a Soyuz.
Yeah, there's a Soyuz. Actually, there's a. Play it again. I think there's more than actually just a Soyuz. I want to say we've got.
Let's see.
I think we start on a Soyuz. So here's a Soyuz
Good
lift.
morning.
Soyuz.
How's everything up in the sky?
Delta 4 Heavy.
Delta 4. All right, that's right. We actually pulled out the
Virgin Galactic Spaceship
yeah.
2.
So the rest are. Oh yeah, rest are
Blue
US,
Origin.
Blue Origin.
Blue Shepard. It's-
Future.
Yes.
Desert Von Braun Cycler, or no, I'm sorry, Aldrin Cycler. Oh, so anyhow, the thing that's struggling is the computer has been trying to play back those files in 4K, and the bit rate's too high, and so the system is trying to churn through them, and it can't. All right.
Don't worry, we'll get it in post.
Yeah, I will fix the calendars and post them. And the open will be whatever.
Look at Mike. He's really hard at work right now.
They're complaining because it's U.S.-centric, but I mean, let's be fair. A good chunk of the new space stuff is coming out of the U.S. I mean, what else do you want me to put in there?
New Zealand.
Oh yeah, we could put. Actually, to be fair, Copenhagen could go in there. They're crazy.
Those wild guys.
The Electron rocket, I don't have footage of launching, so I can't really do that. All right. Deal with it.
Trademark.
Anyhow.
China. It's not like China's giving us launch footage
Yeah.
that we could use in 4K.
In 4K, yeah, they're giving us launch
Yeah.
footage that's this big. So.
In like 360p.
Yeah, India doesn't give
At
us
best.
India doesn't give us 4K footage. They do slightly better. They're like 480i.
They just got up to like 720 or something like that. Their footage improved this last year for sure.
That's good.
they've
In
done a good job.
2016.
Anyhow, there were only, the idea of the open is that we kind of progress through, right? So we start with the Soyuz and we kind of move forward. And you can actually see, we tell a little bit of a story there where you kind of have real and you kind of have the landing of the Blue Origin rocket. Then you kind of have the going together. And then you start going into like really future stuff of like a space station around Mars and then like landed on Mars and then the
landed
logo,
on
right?
Mars, yeah.
So there's a story that is told. It's not just random clips. And that's why we didn't have a whole lot of like just random rockets in the beginning. That's not the point. Okay. What are we doing for, what was your favorite news story, Mike? By the way, Mike, you did a fantastic job of playing the part of the hologram. Like turning,
thank you very much.
turning and looking that moment, and then looking down. Like I thought that worked brilliantly. The thing that made me the most sad is that when I adjusted the light, I didn't pay attention. And if you look, once I show you, you're not going to unsee it. If you look, the hair light is coming from this side on Jared, but it's coming from this side on Space Mike. So I need to adjust my light to make it so that all the hair lights come from the same direction. So it'll look a little bit more natural.
Hair lights.
All right, I know, right? Mohawk lights. What was your favorite story, Space Mike?
I got to do SpaceX returns to flight.
All right, Jared, your favorite story?
I only did one story, so
Sorry.
I'm gonna do.
I
the
didn't
Mars
get your
rover.
message soon enough.
That's
Mars
right.
rover drill had a problem,
All right.
but I'll say it.
That really surprised me. That really surprised me when you had me do my third story. I was like, okay.
Yeah, I know.
thought we
I'm sorry.
wanted
Ben was
Jared.
like, one more. And I was like, great, which one? And then I never got the answer until afterwards, so I had to just
That's all right. It went
make a
fine.
judgment call.
No, that's your job. I'll do. I have an interview with
sorry.
Fraser Cain. Fraser Cain, right? That's how. Fraser Cain.
Fraser Cain.
Fraser
Cain.
Cain.
Yes, not
Cain.
not Crane.
Right.
Like
Fraser-
Cain and Abel.
Fraser
Fraser
Cain. Okay, yep. I got it right in the interview, right?
Cain sugar.
Eventually, yeah.
Second time.
Cool. And then, Karen, you want to take us into the show?
Sure.
Tomorrow begins at this moment in time.
All right, here we go. This is number one.
A drill is broken on Mars.
Number one.
Who's starting?
Mike, Jared, you. Mike, Jared, me, you.
Great.
Coming up, SpaceX is cleared to return to flight.
A drill is broken on Mars.
I interview Fraser Cain of Universe Today. Damn it. It's me today. It's all me. You guys did great.
Coming up, SpaceX is cleared to return to flight.
A drill on Mars is broken.
I have a live interview with.
Take a breather. It's all good, man.
It's a show.
I'm ruining my own show. Number three.
Tres.
Three.
Coming up, SpaceX returns to flight.
A drill on Mars is broken.
I have a live interview with Fraser Cain of Universe Today.
And after a lot of blood, sweat, and tears, we bring you Orbit 10 of tomorrow, starting right now.
I like that. That works, right?
Yes.
All right.
That was good.
We gotta build a new Ben. It's probably easier than the set.
Yeah,
All
actually,
right.
can we just switch Mike and Ben?
Where are the pieces? Are they in the Opera House?
Yeah, I've got a bucket of sawdust I can make a Ben out of.
Oh, here we go. Here's one. I'm gonna grab the one that's
Don't die and don't break my set.
yeah. I'm gonna grab the one that's not been like sanded a little bit. But this one. So
Can't just roll a camera around.
You want some help?
I got it, but I think what we need to do is take camera 2. I'm gonna do it out here.
It's got to go in there. Might as well just all go in there, honestly.
There he goes.
Here we go.
There goes that Ben.
There.
All right.
Yeah, that's the one that
Someone hold
actually
this.
fits.
Hold that.
There he goes again.
What am I doing? What?
All right. Now.
Wish I could come over, but my little robot legs won't let me move.
Somebody roll Mike over.
All right. You wanna
Kidding.
go ahead and cut to that camera. All right. I'll cut to the camera.
All
Well,
right.
hang on. Don't put it in just yet. Let's show it off. So
That's what she
let
said.
me. What's that? Camera 2. Back in here.
Just, yeah, to look a little
All right.
bit further behind you, Mike, and you'll be able to see it.
So we purposely cut off a good chunk of the cool part of the set because we had to, because the windows aren't done, right? So you can see this. I'm going to walk in front of the camera. You can see this incredible infrastructure that we've got going on over here, and that, like, if I move the camera, you can actually see the Earth or the planet moves with it. It's not a green screen, so we'll be able to do. The idea is to have kind of like a subtle camera movement that's going back and forth. Anyhow. That is the window shape that is supposed to go in there, but Dutta has been struggling with this for what, about a week? Not quite a week now?
Yeah.
Yep. Trying to get these shapes because they're 3D extruded. They're obviously not painted. That one's not puttied. Go ahead and lift it in.
You got it?
I'll be visiting the set next, either if something really special happens or once we reach our next Patreon goal. Thank you, Tars.
Now you can see the light shining through from the background. That won't actually happen. He'll putty that all off, and then it'll be sanded down and then painted that same kind of light gray color that you see on those panels right there. And those will be the windows of the set. We would never, of course, shoot this wide. We would always be never further than like that.
And you're not going to see the light
Yeah.
through it. It's all going to be...
Yeah, it'll all be nice and stuff and things. All right, so if I were to, let me do all of these things. All right, and actually I'll kind of screw up the camera shot a little bit so that you get an idea as to what it will kind of look like when all of them are in there. And what's really neat is we actually thought about all of these things, including the lighting. So the lights on the back part of the planet are actually, we tried to, whatever the star, that, by the way, that planet's not Earth, and it's not really Mars. It's a faux planet that doesn't exist.
With purple clouds.
With purple, does it have some purple clouds in it?
No, but it should!
So we looked at the angle of the light that was hitting the sticker. It's a giant sticker. And we emulated that with the lighting, which is why you see the light coming backwards through the windows of the set, because that's what would actually happen if their star were over there. So we're getting kind of that same kind of light shape shining through. It's pretty cool. I'm very excited for that, for when the other
There were a
stuff
couple
goes.
of people who were confused as to why the set wasn't lit.
Was it too dark?
No, it looked like this, and it looked fantastic, but they didn't understand.
Oh, why is it?
I don't think we had a wide enough picture
Yeah, well,
to
we
be able
purposely
to show the entire set.
We
first.
purposely kind of pushed in on it, right? So it was more like this, so that we would.
Right, so
We were trying to cut that off, so you couldn't
without
really see it.
understanding why.
Right. So the actual shot is more like that, more like that, and then this shot will probably be a little
Welcome
bit.
to my 10 forward.
This shot will probably be a little bit more like this, right? So you'll actually have, and you'll be able to see all that fun jazz. Now, there are supposed to be additional lights.
That's what we should do.
There's supposed to be additional lights that hit like these panels and whatnot, but we ran out of money. So those aren't going to happen for a little while. Hopefully you
What is
guys
it
like
we should
it.
do, Carrie Ann?
I brainstorm. You know how I am. There we go. Over here. Great. I'm so glad I don't have to switch cameras anymore. 10 forward, right? Had a whole bunch of, I hate you. Had a whole bunch of different like tables and whatnot. Right? Like there's like a table by the window, and so you could sit over there, and we could put our live audience on the set.
That'd be kind of cool. Actually, that's the other thing that needs to happen. The whole thing, lighting this is very complicated because that is an actual like object behind the set. So if we move the chairs too far backwards,
Let's do this. Keep going.
if we move the chairs too far backwards, the lights shine through the windows and cast shadows onto the planet area.
Oh no, Carrie Ann's in space outside. Help her.
She doesn't have a spacesuit on. Hello! Oh my gosh, she's gonna get dehydrated. Send her some water.
Must be a very small planet too for her to cast that shadow on.
Yeah,
I'm gigantic.
yeah, that's the problem. So we originally had the chairs a good 3 feet backwards.
Yeah.
And that did not work. So yeah,
Doggone
we kept pushing them forward and pushing them forward and pushing them forward until
Do we
were able
only have a single decompression door on the set?
No, we weren't that stupid.
to. Someone actually brought up that was actually where they were supposed to do the next stage of expansion on the set or on their station. Right, so one could
It's like a
argue
bursting
that
port.
there would be a single door
So we
there.
should go back with Mike.
I feel like that's not actually a thing.
Oh, are you coming out here? We're not going to stay with Mike?
Oh, we can stay with Mike. Yeah,
I
we should
feel like
stay
we
with
should
Mike.
kind of stay with Mike,
Okay,
yeah?
I guess we're going all
I'm
over
just
the place
here
now.
alone on the bridge.
I
being
know.
the night crew.
Ooh, yeah,
We're
the
coming
bridge.
back.
Engineering.
Engineering or the bridge? You know, that's engineering.
That's engineering?
Yeah, that. I literally call that room the
Oh,
engineering room.
all right.
So is this the bridge? Do we like that? That's the observation deck. Yeah, we need everyday astronaut to come back on there with a spacesuit and kind of like float outside the window, like banging on it. And then that 3D extrusion will also happen in that middle window as well, right?
Yes.
Is it still sitting there?
Yes.
Do we want it
So-
sitting there?
There's an entire window architecture in 3D part of the set that is not yet done and will be done within a few weeks.
It's gonna go here too.
Oh yeah, and that same shape is going to go in these windows sometime in the future, not now.
April. Q2.
The green room is Ben's ready room.
So you're right,
The Opera House.
the opera house. So it is darker than the previous set. Is it too dark? I mean,
I don't
obviously
think
we need to get a few more lights out on the panels, but is it distractingly dark, or is it just that it's darker than the previous?
I think it's just darker than previous. I think it's fine.
Just in my opinion, there's like a contrast between us. Like you guys have like a slightly bluish purple tint to you with the lighting in there right now.
And you look green or yellow.
I guess so, yeah.
Well, I think we can
at least on the TV screen on from your guys' camera. Yeah, I do look yellow.
Yeah, we don't.
It's better than it was though.
I mean, we can. May I sneak in?
I already wear a uniform for work. I'm not going to wear a uniform for this.
I think I can. So, Mike, we're going to have to, no matter what, we're going to have to do some color balance on your screen, I think.
The poop deck.
I think
Sorry,
that
I'm sick.
color balance looks a little bit better in here. Right, that gives them a slightly more natural skin tone.
Yeah, but it doesn't help that you've got blue light back here.
Oh, no, I know, but it still has to look right? I mean,
Yeah.
so I think that looks more righter-er.
More writer.
More righter-er.
Don't be sorry.
Wait, hang on, I can fix the issue. There we go. Problem solved!
Welcome to yesterday.
Welcome to the 1930s. By 1985, we'll be on Mars.
That looks pretty good. I think that's a pretty natural, like those skin tones look fairly natural to me. But, Space Mike, we still need to,
Adjust the TV.
well, I think
Adjust
either
the volume.
the TV or, thanks. This is where all the controls are sideways and it's fun.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, it's all right. I'm surprised you're
closer?
doing that like right setup and not like, huh, how do I read this?
Color looks better with saturation is too high.
Yeah, but let's just go with the hue right now. The hue is correct, right?
Yeah.
The comment section is not. The comments set is not a thing yet.
It won't be a thing for this orbit.
Right, but they're saying that you're dark.
Oh, well, again, that's lights.
Right.
So
That's money.
that's money. That will be fixed someday in the future. That better? Everyone happy with that?
Mike, look up.
I mean, I might be able to fix some of this with just this one.
Full screen.
Ow. By the way, it's been a lot of this for the last couple of weeks. Of
A lot
like,
of ow.
Yeah, a lot of ow, and then a lot of like, well, that needs to be fixed. So that doesn't screw up. That doesn't create any glares or anything, right?
Trying to make that panel fit last night, I cut my hand 3
Is that better?
times.
Now am I more lit?
I did say blood, sweat, and tears, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wasn't kidding.
I dropped MDF on my foot.
looks better.
Yeah, cool. Fixed it and didn't spend any money. Boom! That's a first. There was a lot of, this is broken, go buy a thing. This is broken, go buy a thing. But I think it's worth it. I think it's absolutely incredible, and I'm really liking this. I like the sideways thing. It was a pain in the butt. Thank you, Mike, for like late night. We need to do tests again.
Also,
Found it,
I think
guys.
we need to
Found it,
send.
guys.
We need to.
Thank you,
You
Karen.
send Mike a like 2x4 that's at least the height of Jared, and then mark how tall we all are. So when each one of us is talking, he has something
up and look
accurate
down.
to look. Yeah, because I felt like sometimes he was looking at like my height when he was looking at Jared, and so
No, I mean, he just looks straight over, which is a fairly natural.
sure. Except if he's standing that close to Jared, he's still gonna look up ever so slightly. Just because, like, you and Mike are roughly
Like
the same
that?
height.
Tennis ball on a stick.
But, like, seriously, so you stand next to Jared, you look at Jared in the face when Jared's standing up and looking at Ben and talking.
Hi, Ben.
How are you?
I'm doing
Okay.
fantastic.
That's
How about
great.
you? Okay, then.
Although it was hilarious because Jared was doing the I'm looking at Ben, I'm looking at Mike, I'm looking at Ben, I'm looking at Mike, and I was like, I am really short and literally being looked over.
Well, being looked over is better than being overlooked.
Is
This is
this
true.
is this shot too dark, or was it just the other set that was too dark? Okay, but it's just the background of the set, right? The
Didn't
humans are
understand
fine.
the concept. It's fine.
Okay. Well, I want to make sure that this is fixed with lights and not an actual like.
Doge, I thought about that because this table originally was up like 3 inches, and I said, no, that's not going to be a thing.
Plume plume.
And
But dun, dun, dun.
These legs are adjustable. So if and or when you are in studio,
We did make a short joke.
We can make it stow tight.
We did say we would have, to emulate Stoge being on set as well, we were going to put just a couple of hands, like right here on the... That's terrible. But it's funny, but it's terrible.
this is true. Yeah, I don't really want an apple crate. I want more like my own soapbox.
How much taller do you... Get up on your tippy toes.
Me?
Yeah. That's better, right? Okay.
I mean, we're talking actual tippy toes here.
I know. I was just trying to get an idea of height.
Like, I don't even have shoes this tall.
That would be cool.
Oh wow. Hi, Mom.
Hi, Space Mike's mom.
Hi, Space Mike's mom. I don't have anything. Dada, build me a thing!
Actually, Dutta could probably build it.
I know. Actually,
This-
in the original CADs, there is a apple box because I couldn't decide what I wanted for a table. I'm like, I don't know, just make it an apple box.
This new set with Dutta.
Overall, other than the kind of the heart, yeah, there you go.
He's literally building something right now.
I wouldn't really call that building. It's more like placing wood on ground. Actually, that's not bad. That is that a better height? You feel better?
There we go.
I feel the same. Just on Brooklyn's.
Do you have two more?
No, I'm fine. Why on earth would you try and make me that tall? I don't exist this tall.
There you go.
You have your own soapbox.
Dada did it.
Let me borrow your soapbox.
It's just that, you
You've
know.
been standing in a soapbox for 9 orbits. 2 2x2s. Yes.
All right. So,
Does that mean that whenever Ben does like get on his soapbox, he actually like physically pushes you off and gets on your soapbox?
2 2x4s. Sorry.
Is that size okay for you?
Sure.
Do you want it to be longer, wider?
should be a little bit deeper, I think. Like two more, yeah. Right, and then everything else, if you just want to, that'd be perfect. You have to make that noise or it won't work.
And then you paint it.
Shotwell
need
isn't
to
as
paint?
tall as you think she is.
So overall, what do we think? What do we like and what do we not like? Now I have to wait like 30 seconds. How about you guys? What do you like and what do you not like? What from a technological, we'll start with you, Space Mike. Did things work in your ear? Were you able to easily understand? Do you have issues with like the camera, the lights, everything from a technology standpoint working for you?
Yeah, for the most part. I mean, getting some of the comments from the chat room helped me notice things that I didn't notice before. And so I do need to do like a slight little bit of tweaking so it doesn't look like it's hitting this side so much. I have two lights coming from the background right now, but this one's coming on way stronger, and I didn't want to mess with it for fear of having things fall on me. But like you almost killed Detta earlier.
Twice.
But twice.
Today.
But
Today, just today.
I do have one final complaint about the television. Like my skin tone looks like it's your guys's right now.
Yeah.
But then my shirt is super green. Like my shirt is the same color gray as the computer in front of me. So
You might have to tweak the same color gray as the computer in front of you. Does it look like? Can I see Space Mike in preview? No, I can't. Hang on.
bless you.
All right, Shift and then Space Mike in preview.
What?
Oh yeah. There you go. Press it. There you go. All right. So actually, his camera color balance does look pretty good, doesn't it? It's not his side, is it? It's us. Okay.
No, yeah, because on TV he looks good. He's maybe a slightly pink on TV to me,
Oh, hang on. Maybe I need
but
to...
his shirt looks good.
Maybe I need to do... Any other comments, Carrie Ann, that came in between?
No, not really.
Okay.
Well, a couple people don't like us inside the control room.
Really?
Yeah,
How come?
I feel like it looks cramped.
It is cool.
Many people, small room.
Turtleneck and chain.
Yeah, it's funny. I like prefer wearing black shirts the most, so I'm gonna have to try to avoid that with this background.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm even wearing a black undershirt right now. Jeez, didn't even think about it.
Yeah, the thing is, you're lit well, but you're lit well, and then you're on a TV, and then you're on camera.
Mm-hmm. So it's always gonna look a little weird. See, now my shirt matches, but then my face is
No,
green.
I'm trying to see if I can't... So I need to be... Okay, so I think I've got a plus...
That was me on New Year's.
Yep. Oh man, Christmas and New Year's for me was just a lot of sickness. A lot of sickness. We tried, but
Dan TC24, you said it's really hard to tell what we're supposed to see outside of the windows. I don't understand what you're saying.
oh yeah, when I get excited and my hands disappear off screen. Sorry, gotta try to keep it in this box here.
Well, you can go forward though. Like you can go forward.
Talk
You just
like
can't
this.
go out.
Yeah. It'll take practice.
Yeah, no, I understand the control room windows. I don't understand where the confusion is. What?
Those are getting covered up, right?
Yeah, not like covered up, but yes.
But like, you know what I mean.
They're going to have the same shapes on them.
Y'all know what I mean.
But you're still going to be able to see through them.
That's cool.
Yeah, I have essentially now.
I'm gonna have another fruit roll up.
Yeah, I can use some robotic hands that just like wave around.
Fruit roll up and a juice.
It's interesting that, I guess it doesn't faze me in the slightest what you guys are saying.
Hey, Spaceman, how's that?
That looks pretty good right there. That looks really good right there to me.
Can you do me
It's not perfect, but that looks a lot closer. Yeah.
Do you have a green shirt or a green object somewhere around? Something that's green.
Mm-hmm.
The chair's green.
Oh yeah, the chair's green. It's kind of a dark green though, but
But it is green.
Shows up correct on screen, right?
that
Which
looks
is
right to
interesting
me.
because you see how far off I have the green offset. All right.
Yeah, so the TV that's in the other
That looks
room.
really good to me though now.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I guess. I think it's funny that you guys are.
What are they? What's the issue?
There's. It apparently. So Chris says the windows between the sets are a little confusing. The view of the main set from the control room looks out onto odd, distracting shapes.
Yeah, that's the other set.
Yeah,
That's
they
the-
understand what it is.
I think that's partly because
It
it's
just-
not done yet.
Ben, show that.
Right. So this is what's going to happen to the windows in here. Right. Can't really focus it. So those are going to go, like these two shapes go on side of each one of those windows. So you're going to get this gray overlay. This is what this is going to eventually look like in here, but not probably till quarter 2, quarter 3 of this year.
So okay, so half you guys seem to think it's a reflection that you're seeing, and the other half don't think it's a reflection.
In the glass?
Well, so there's the reflection on the black. I can see of these lights. That part I get. But then there's also the move. There's the the TV's off now, so you can't
To
see
be fair, this door is also open, so you're getting
You're getting what?
like this. You were getting a reflection of the wood from the opera house
Oh.
in Yeah, when the TV's on, you get that through there.
Yeah.
But you won't be able to see that when the set's complete. Do we still look pink to you guys? Pink. I mean, there is a blue light behind us, right? So there is a lot of blue in the scene. But we don't look pink, do we?
Yeah, we do. Look at us.
Well, white people are pink.
I mean, like,
Do we?
I am that color, but
Yeah. Am I this color?
I'm just saying, white
no,
people are pink.
you're not.
How far off am I?
I'm pink.
You're pinkish. I am pink.
Let's.
though.
But I am pink.
I'm pinker than you are.
Yeah, but I'm pink.
Yeah, but I'm way pinker than you are.
Yeah, you are.
But not here. Here we're the same exact color. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
All right.
My shoes are pink, too.
How's that? Is that better?
You see my shoes?
Less pink, more blue.
the lights on the set, I believe, are
Maybe there needs to be
on.
like a some sort of natural light or like daylight coming from somewhere in this direction to kind of offset the bluishness. Because I think it's the blue mixing with the regular white light that's causing the kind of pink effect. But I don't know.
The lights on the observation deck
more
set
blue.
are on, and they are as on as they're ever going to be.
No more blue.
But
No,
the blue
you should
makes
not-
it look cool.
You should not be able to see the planet.
You should not be. No, you're looking at the other side of it.
I think they're just taking like this this glare like right above the TV.
Right. That's yeah.
right there.
That bothers me.
Yeah, that we can fix. Ish. Right. The one hitting the TV or the one hitting the.
No,
The
the
one
one
hitting
hitting
the-
the frame of the window.
Oh, that I'm not sure if I can fix. We'll try.
We can't just put a thing of
Everyone's
gaff.
It looks
saying
like
that
it's
without the blue light,
shining
it looks
through,
worse.
though.
Yeah, look, it does look worse without the blue light. I
Right.
know.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does look better with it.
But the skin tone is still wrong. Is that what we're saying?
We all need a tan.
I'm not tanning. It's not gonna happen.
Skin tone doesn't change when you turn the blue light on.
No,
Yeah,
I know.
and no, Kitty's right though. That window frame you're not gonna see once those other pieces are up.
That's correct.
Yeah.
Between here and there, we could get black gaff and just over it. And
Yeah, I
then
mean
it's
the black gaff is still going to be slightly reflective. You're still going to see it. It's not going to go away.
not as much as this though.
You're right. It'll dumb it down. So Space Mike does look more correct. All right, Dada on the you know, actually, hang on. May I? Sorry. We're going to gain red.
Oh man. Let's go back to this.
But I like pink. Pink's my favorite color.
You guys keep saying glass. I don't think it's a reflection on the glass. It's a reflection on the frame of the window itself.
Did you see this?
Yeah. Good night, Stoge.
Thank you for joining.
Thank you, Stoge.
Yeah, data screens are reflecting in the glass, but yeah, I mean that's just not gonna. So seeing the set behind it, it doesn't faze me, but apparently it phases all of you, which is kind of adorable.
No dying, dude. You okay?
No, he's sick. Yeah, yeah, I guess maybe that's why it's not bothering any. Like, it's just not bothering me because the framing that's going to go around the windows is going to cut out so much of that.
I'm gonna get some water.
Yeah, I mean, that side of the set is just, I mean, right now particularly, it's quite dark.
The background of the set is not lit properly.
Look at the camera. Look at the camera.
And you're not going to see all of that through the window.
Yeah, you're barely going to see any of it, really.
I feel like that is pretty clear. You are a pinkish person.
I just am really pink. I'm a terrible...
Right? I mean...
Can everyone come back for a moment? And see, you...
He's pink as well. He's not
look
as
all
pink
right
as I
to
am.
me.
But yeah, you look...
Yeah.
You're pinker on screen.
Stand up
there.
again for me, Space Mike. See, I feel like... Jared, look at the camera.
Ironically, right now it is a bit of a storage closet.
All right. Well,
What you got
I'm
there?
done for the day. We're not going to keep tweaking this on air.
I got Perrier.
Yeah. I think we're all in need of some adult naps.
The shape is definitely not going to change, but we might be able to paint it. Your desk ends up to be bright blue.
I don't know. I think the background is all right. I'm not that worried about the background.
I mean, I think the important thing right now is that the main focus is on the interview set, and once that's completed, then we'll be able to make everything else look much better. Baby steps, one thing at a time.
I like that
Sorry,
the
Ben.
blue light bathes everything in the background in a uniform color and makes it kind of go away.
Yeah.
It's there, you see a little bit of detail, but it's not in vivid color. And the only thing that throws that off is these screens.
You guys said it looked a little bit tight, so I can pull. I mean, we have this much room to work with.
There you go, storage closet.
I suppose, but you could pull it all the way out and we can move forward. It'll give you some more depth, no?
It's just kind of, that feels pretty good to me. Right about there. I think it's a pinch wider than we were before. All right. Other than people not like fully understanding that we're not done yet and that the windows will be mostly covered, so that reflection's going away. Most of what you're going to see in this window, most of what you're going to see through the windows will go away. It's just kind of for effect. Other than that, we're okay. We think it's a little bit dark, but we need to fix that with some lights. But we like it. I mean, we see the vision forward, and we're cool with the vision, and we like the standing. Everyone thought that worked fairly well. The show format, other than me screwing up, worked fairly well. Dada, that worked okay for you.
Yeah, I just need to do it.
Yep. I understand. Me too, apparently. What's the chat room say? They're cool with everything?
Pretty much.
All right. On that note, I think we're done. We will see you next week.
Toast.
Hopefully this will be a little bit easier. I don't think there's going to be an After Dark next week, just so you guys know. Right? Because we have to bail as soon as the show is done.
Right,
and
he's
go to
not
the
here.
airport.
We got to get out of here.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm on
so-
vacation.
Yeah, I mean,
So-
so Space Mike, if you want to solo After Dark, you're free to do that. I'm not going to stop you, but at the same time,
I think I'd feel bad keeping Dutta if he wanted to leave, if everyone else is taking off too.
and
we'll see.
I have no Soma Bar update. So, and then one other note: you guys saying it's a bit crowded in here. That's true. However, there will be a comment set in Orbit 11, which will, I think, fix some of that, which brings in that Soma Bar. I believe. I think it'll be kind of like a.
Hi, Mealing.
Hi, Mealing. I think for the comment set, it's going to be like a hydroponics bay, kind of where we're going to kind of just grab a quick meal sort of thing, sit, talk about stuff. That's kind of the thought process. None of that's designed. None of that's happening this year. So on that note, Thank you so much.
Yeah.
And we'll see you next week.
Thank you, everybody.
See ya.
Bye.